We are live, the Elite Podcast. We are here. My brother Rasan, my brother Tegan, talk to me. What good?
Everything good, man. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mumbai is all about love. Virgin Islands still hot. Unfortunately, our coronavirus kind of spiked a little bit, but all in all, we still got life and we thank God for life. So we good.
God bless.
That's good, man. That's good. So we are live at YouTube and we live at Facebook, the Elite page. So
Love it, Mumbai.
love it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So we doing good. We doing good. We kind of we expanding. You know. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get these shout outs out. Pang say he running late, so the viewers, you guys will see Pang, but he running late. So big shout out to the Legends 340.com. Go out and support. Legends 340.com. We got Savory Eats LLC, Orlando by Sheena Fontaine. If you're in Orlando and she have food, say go out and support. We have the Good Life Apparel, my boy Nato, big up. We have Andrea. Follow her Melting Pot Cooking Class at Instagram. And Instagram is Melting Pot Cooking Class. Also, meltingpotcookingclass.com. Meltingpotcookingclass.com. We have Sabone Caribbean Restaurant. We have Apollo Legion. We have follow on Instagram Island Destiny 340 Serenity Braids by Nikki. Also, we have Rico Canario as well too. Website www.lulu.com/spotlight/R Canario. We have Right Way Service Station located in Princess next to Avis. We have Paris Enterprise. Also follow on Facebook Livewire Sports. Follow on Facebook. We have Midnight Entertainment as well. Big up to Frenchie. And then also follow the Elite Podcast YouTube page at VI Legends as well. So, all right, so we get that out of the way. So, last episode, Sonil Charles. Amazing. Inspiring.
Well, I don't know if Rashan, did you get an opportunity to listen to Sunil?
Yeah, not the whole thing, but I come in and what I'm more impressed about is where he at today in his life. You know what I'm saying? What he doing. I think he said he done into engineering, the engineering side of stuff. That's super impressive what he doing.
No, Sunil was just God sent, and we all know he's a preacher, even though I asked that about 50 million times, remember, right? But
yeah.
Real talk, man. Sunil, when he speaks, you can just, sometimes you say that people are spiritual and people are Christian and stuff like that. He's a guy that don't need to tell you he's a Christian or anything like that. You can just watch him and you can just see the God just flowing out of him. Like everything about him was just natural and pure. His words, like we mentioned, he never stuttered. It just flowed from his heart. And just like the words say, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Sunil is the representation of that. So big up to Sunil, man. I really enjoyed. I watched your episode a couple of times. I'm like, man, he is definitely enlightened, and he's a great role model for all Virgin Islanders.
That's true, man. That's true. It's true. It was amazing. Touching,
Amazing.
Inspiring, humble, everything, man. Big up to Sunil. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Amazing episode.
So Mama, before we get to Genix, I have to say this publicly.
Go ahead.
Let me get it out.
Yeah.
So for all the Virgin Islands, I'd just like to say a happy 10th year anniversary to me and my lovely wife, Leah Shepherd. It's been crazy. It's been over 15 years we've been together. I can't believe she's still with me. I'm a crazy ass dude who talk too damn much, but she is just an example that you need a strong woman to stay with a crazy man for he to be successful. So to my wife, I say happy anniversary. I love you. We're gonna definitely party out this weekend, corona free, mask on, mask off. Where did that come from?
It's a pebble.
That's mine.
No. Oh yeah. Where to put it? Who let the dogs out?
Hey, I love it. This is a true island podcast. I love it. Yeah. No. Hey, happy anniversary, Leah. Thank you for all the drinks you have bought me over the years in the village. I haven't forget. So, and thank you for lending us Tegan on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I appreciate you, not being upset when we have him out so late, So much love
upset.
and congratulations.
My food will be cold.
I'm sorry. We apologize. The Elite Podcast apologize. All right. So we have Mona Barnes on for Genix, but Genix, I mean, I owe Dean Haywood and Eugene Genix Thomas is two people that I owe everything to besides my mother, But I mean, he taught me the game of baseball when I was 8. I mean, it's so much I could go on with Genix, man, and it's gonna be in the episode, but I owe him my life, everything that I have, the discipline he instilled in me at a young age that I didn't understand then, that I understand now. It's just so much I'm grateful for. And he just deserved this acknowledgement. He definitely deserved the celebration and the honor. And hopefully stuff could happen in the future for him as well, too. People recognizing him and stuff. But, that's what I got for now.
Rashan?
Look, I proclaim everything about the game of baseball, and not just baseball, life in general. You know what I'm saying? I just like Mumba, I owe you a great deal of gratitude. I'm grateful, appreciative, you know what I'm saying, for just the lessons outside of baseball that he showed me. You understand what I'm saying? So I owe you a lot. And that's that adjective still really don't explain the whole thing. I owe you a whole lot.
Well said, brother. Hey, man, when I first met Genix, I knew him around a lot, but when I first met him, when I moved to WIM, I was just getting ready to go to Complex. And, I was a very cocky dude. And he was one of the elderly who actually put me in place. And I was very respectable. I never really disrespect him, but he definitely came at me and he was like, "You're too cocky, you're too showy, and you're too big. Stop your bleep, bleep, bleep. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna." And I just listened to him, and I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I wasn't really talking to you. I was really talking to my crew." And I didn't play baseball or softball, anything like that, but he still looked out and definitely put me in my place. And I was so honored that he took the time to say, "No, boss, humble yourself, and that's how you're gonna make it far." I mean, tonight gonna be a different episode because we have Pastor Mona Barnes who's gonna be telling his story. But definitely, we tried to pull Genix on, and anybody who knows Genix, he probably is gonna get teared up tonight. So he chose not to be on, but he's watching. He's definitely talking to Mona Barnes to let her know if she go around, put you in the place. So Mona Barnes is gonna be the voice for him tonight. So it might be a little bit different, but the message will still be the same. This is a giant, not just in St. Croix, but in all Virgin Islands family in terms of baseball, softball. So many young men, so many young ladies he have saved. I have watched him myself in WIM. He asks for nothing. He doesn't want no recognition. And this is why this is so important right now for we to hear the stories about him and show respect. Mr. Genix, much love to you. I know you're watching in the background. I still got a bone to pick with you because you cussed me out. I'm a grown man now. I can tell you a little bit about my word, which I won't do. But Pastor Mona Barnes, we anxious to hear your story. Welcome to the show. That we hear a lot about Genix. It's all good. It's all love.
Well, first let me say good evening, and I want to thank Mumba and Rashan and Tegan, you like the nephew that I always wanted. But I want to talk about Eugene Thomas. We say Genix, and I'm gonna talk to him from my eyes. I'm not ashamed to. I'm 56 years old, and when I first met Genix, I was 7. So I'm talking 49 years of relationship. And I remember when I first made contact with him, he saw me on a ballpark and was young. But there is something that he saw. And it's something that he saw so much that he went to my mom to ask my mom to play for him. And I want you to understand what Genix did for me, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. Genix used to leave public works and his lunch break. He retired now, so what are you gonna do, right? He used to leave on his lunch break come and pick me up. I used to live in Peter's Rest. So he's leaving Public Works in Frederickstead. Take me down to the ballpark in Frederickstead. Hit 200 balls to me. Third base, shortstop, second, first base. Get me back. Take me back to Peter Rest. Finish work. Come back and take me with the team for practice. So the first thing I want to say about Eugene Thomas, he's a man of dedication.
Hmm.
And that takes dedication because he didn't have to do it. You know, the one thing I love about Genix is even though he taught me the game of softball, he taught it well. I learned it well. But he taught me about life in just
Absolutely.
in the sport. And the one thing I would talk about, I shared it with Moma just before I came on live, is that year that Genix took a national team. It was to Corning, New York, for the Cinderella National Championship. So you guys see the picture. We were the only team of color. That was the first thing.
Wow.
We were the only team of color. And so when we got there, there's a sense of intimidation, you know, but I remember Genix just, you know, coming next to me and he was like, he just pointed in my ear, we're going to beat them. And so when he said it, just because he said it, I believed it. And I was kind of like the captainish. And so because I believed it, I told them, you know, and I told Mom, that was, as far as I know to today, unless somebody can tell me different, that is the only team that left the Virgin Islands, a national team, and go to a national tournament. And every award that was given, the Virgin Islands team won it. There was a little show, I mean, like a queen show. You had to do a speech, you know, and Genix helped my cousin Darrelly, and she won that. Batting champ, pitching, RBI, home run. We won everything.
It's crazy.
And we won it because Genix, he made you believe in who you were. You know, and the first thing he did, and a lot of people say he's rough and he's mean, but if you wanna go to the next level, you gotta have somebody that's gonna push you beyond your limit. And that's what Genix did. He just made you believe that you could do things that you thought you couldn't do. You know, I ain't gonna tell on him, you know. I got injured in that tournament, you know. I actually fractured my ankle and I was on crutches. And you know, Genix was like, you know, Mona, we gonna need you. And you could do it because I gonna wrap your foot. And when I wrap it, you gonna be good. And I believed them. And I you know, the one game I had to play right field, and he said, no, ball ain't gonna come out there to you. Don't worry about it. And when you hit the ball, you gotta hit it far enough to the fence so you can at least get to second base. And he said it, and I believed it. And I did it. You know, when we lost the first game, we lost one game, it was a 2-game elimination. We lost the game, right? And so Genix says, no problem. Put your gloves in the dugout and everybody go to their position. And the people, you know, we were staying with families and they were looking at him like, this is a crazy man. What is he doing with these girls? You know, and he started hitting the ball to us. He said, if you could catch it with your bare hand, you can catch it with a glove. And so that's what he did. And then so now you got to think about it now. So we're in Corning, New York. Nobody tell us about weather. So we playing in like 58 degrees. So the are against us, you know, they're against us. But just of Genix, what he gets into your mind and your psyche, and he makes you believe that you are the best. You know, they had a party and all the other teams, man, they were in the pool, jumping in and out. And so the VI team, we couldn't go in the pool. And, you know, everybody mad. We want to. So Genix called me and I'm sitting right next to him on a lawn chair and he said, Mona, you see them? He said, you know why we're going to beat that next team tomorrow? He said, I'm going to get them tired. They're going to be tired and they're going to be weary. But we're going to be ready. Don't worry. After we win, then we could go find a pool. But for right now,
with it buzz.
Let it jump around and jump in and out. And so said, so done. You know, so that tournament is forever lasting in my mind. But the thing about Genix is the lessons that I learned from him. I've been in the military 28 years. And going into the military, because of the discipline that I learned from Eugene Thomas, because of that desire to be the best at what you do, I became the first female state command sergeant major. Something that never, and I tell people all the time, I can think back to just some of the things Genix said to me, and I applied it when I was in the military. If you're gonna do something, do it to your best ability or don't do it at all. It's just like being a team. You want to win, you want to be the best, you got to work hard. When everybody else home resting and sleeping, you got to be out there. That 200 ball, you can imagine that? 2 times 5, that's 1,000 balls I used to feel a week,
A week.
So let me ask you, and I'm gonna pose this question to you, Mumba and Rashan, because all three of you guys was under the great Genix. Obviously, me and Pang is basketball players. We know him very well, and we respect him a lot because we see what he does in the community. But when you first met him, and you first saw this little man coming on the court, coming on the field. Sorry, I gotta make sure I get my my geometries right.
We know what you mean.
What was your first impression of this man when he started giving these drills, talking to you guys? Give me your first honest impression, and how have that changed in terms of your success as you start going into the sport? Ms. Bond, you first.
I'll go first. I said, what is, I was 7, but I was kind of like you, Tegan. I talk to all of that. I was like, what is skinny man? Who you think he talking to? Genix was always short, and he was always skinny. So he was kind of like my height. And I was like, he used to be like, hey, what, you know what? You let a ball go through your leg, you shoot it over. A big ball. He made you think like a ball was a big basketball or something. How you miss? How a big ball like that could go through your leg? So then you start saying in your mind, but for you, how like that through my leg? But my thing was I never feared him, because when he spoke to me, he spoke through me. And so I was able to see that what he was saying to me was something that I couldn't quite catch it at a 7, 8, 9-year-old, but I just had that feeling that he's saying it to me because he cares for me. Children know when they're loved, and you could be rough and you could be tough, but children know when they're loved and they know when people are concerned about them. And I think that was the one thing I was able to gather very early, 7, 8 years old, that he really cared for me as a person.
Love it. Rashan?
Well, I can tell you this right now, Mona had way more heart than me, because at 8 years old, when I was first introduced to Genix, I was truly intimidated. No doubt about it. It was a no doubt about it. But it took me a little while to get over the intimidation factor, because initially you ain't processing it right away. But once you really start processing what's going on, and you start understanding what the method to the madness that he had going on, then the intimidation turned into respect. Because Genix wasn't just good at teaching one position. Remember this now, it's 9 positions on the field, and each one of those positions and the field, he had intricate knowledge about. You understand what I'm saying? So if he telling you about first base, or telling you about third base, telling you about right, center, he know exactly what he's talking about. He pulling you exactly where you need to be on the field according to the pitches that he calling from the dugout. And 90% of the time, that's where the ball going.
Yep.
So you didn't, it was just, so I used to be like, wow, he know where this ball are going. But all of that was predicated on the pitches that he are calling, and you as the pitcher having to locate and put exactly where he wanted to be up and miss location, because he didn't care if your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, your sister, no matter who you're gonna get cussed out right there.
What about you?
For me, when I first met Genix was the first time I was ever playing any sport whatsoever, and I was shook, afraid, nervous, because the way, like Mona and Rasa said it, man, the way how he used to talk, I wasn't used to that. And plus, that was my first time playing, so I wasn't used to that. But I kind of realized, like, it was everybody was getting it. Like, you could have been the number one player wherever. You could have been the best of the best. He treats you the same as everybody else. And that one made me comfortable. That if I made a mistake or whatever the case may be, whoever did it, it was the same thing. He treat everybody equal, and he put in the same work for everybody who wanted the work. You know, that's it. The same thing Mona talked about, the sacrifice he made every day hitting out 200 ground balls. If you wanted it, he was going to make time for you. He was going to make time for you. And that one made me comfortable. And like what Mona touched on too was the thing I had a hard time learning when I was young was the preparation. Like Genix was big on preparation. Like you couldn't be fooling around and like the team was playing in the pool and stuff like that. Like Genix lived in Harrogate, we lived in Harrogate. Like me and Neg and stuff, he would get Maki would sleep over at his house, so his mother didn't have to drive down early. Like we couldn't be outside playing around if we had game the next day. Like he would tell my sister, he would tell Neg's sister, like, hey, if you see Mumba or Neg or anybody outside, you let me know. Like he was big on preparation. And as I became an adult, Antigua and Pan, you guys know, and stuff like that. Even Rasan and Mona, you know, as you get older, you realize how preparation is so important when it's sports. And he had that from since Little League. So, you know.
Something I want to add to, I remember when, because I used to play shortstop for Genix. I used to play shortstop at third base. And, you know, in my mind, I always thought, okay, if you're playing shortstop, you the bomb. You like, you know. And I remember when he came to me one day and he said to me, he said, I got to make you a catcher. I was like, catcher? That's like a jokey position, man. That people who can't really play is who don't catch, you know.
But you didn't have a choice, though, Mona.
I didn't, you know. Check this out, though. So he said to me, he said, nobody else could catch. I had a cousin named Darrell. She's a pitch. She was good. She was good. He said, ain't nobody else that could catch her. He said, and what we getting ready to start doing, I need to make you a catcher. Like, you know, but just because he said it, I believed it. But in him teaching me how to adjust yourself to team building, he moved me from what I consider a position of elite to what I thought was a beneath position. But catching became critical because Genix actually controlled the game from telling me what pitches for Darrell to pitch, depending on the batter, to dictate where he believed the ball is going to go, to set a whole team, just like Rashan was saying, in a certain position. And to me, you know, it was magical for me. It's like Rashan said, you know, he would tell tight, inside, low, and tight. And he would just tell the third base, get ready. And boom, the ball goes to third base. I used to be tripping like, what? And so it got to the point where Darrell and I had developed a rhythm where at one point, Genix didn't even have to tell me what the pitch was. I started remembering the batters and what they did the last time they came up. You know, and so when I looked to him and I, you know, giving him the sign of why gonna call, he's like, yeah. So I left from shortstop to catcher, and I was like, in my mind, and you gotta remember, I was a little girl, 13, 12, 13 now, and I am like, wow, I'm able to control this game. And it's just because of how he taught you the game. It was more than, you know, people say, oh, he just like to win and he don't like to lose. Who like to lose? You know? I tell people all the time, if you come second, you're the first person to lose. You know? That kind of work to lose. And I took on that same mindset. I passed it on when I coached, and I coached for 12 years, 14. And in 4 years, 12 years, 4 teams. I lost 3 games.
Wow.
And softball. I had boys and girls basketball, boys and girls softball at Pearl B. Okay, and it all stemmed from what I learned from Genix. I applied it, and it works, and it will still work today because he teaches you the fundamental and the mental part of the game. You know, it's more than just, I would tell, somebody joke with coaches just say, shoot, 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 shoot. No. If you in basketball and you in teaching, hand coordination, feet movement, you're gonna be a step behind. But Genix taught, I remember Genix teaching us a double play and staying between second and shortstop for maybe like 30 minutes. No ball, just going through the motion of what you do, the motion without the ball, so that when you got the ball in your hand, it was like second nature.
Automatic. Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry to say, but a lot of coaches, that's not what they're doing today. They just, they're gathering some children and just participate, and but I like to win.
Yeah.
I like to win. So and that's, I think that's one of the things Genix, like, I think people or a lot of the parents didn't like him pushing their children to the next level because they themselves weren't pushing them to the next level. So to them it seemed like, oh, you're being so hard and you're being so rough and you're being so mean. Well, it was cool for me because my mom worked at the jail, so I know I tough up from a little girl, so that's why I wasn't as intimidated as you was, Rashan.
Look, you better than me. I give you that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me bring in our boy, our co-host, Beanie Bang. I definitely want to hear his view because me and him is the only 2 basketball players, and yeah, feeling a little lonely. But we both know Genix. Beanie, welcome, my brother.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Now, I would just, I was just listening and just, just waiting my turn to ask an interesting question. But just loving the stories and listening about Genix. I know my nephew, my nephew, being coached by he right as we speak. So, hearing my sister talk about he and hearing I talk about he ain't nothing different. So, I just admire him tonight. I gonna kick back. Mumba, I expect you to ask mostly all the questions and all the interesting questions because I just want to learn tonight. I just want to be a sponge tonight and just soak up information. Well, good night to to you, Rasan. Good night to you, Mona. I had a pleasure of meeting you one time when I came home for Amata Gum's funeral. Okay. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember
a few years ago. Yeah, and you helped me to do my little speech. I was nervous, at the eulogy. Pleasure meeting you again, and I enjoy listening to your story so far tonight.
Thanks.
Hey, she's a very good ball player. So I can't wait to hear her story. Cause Pidy call her out, but we ain't talking about that tonight. We're talking about Genix. So let me get back to Genix. I got another question. For the whole panel. So right now, tonight really gonna be with Mumba. I know you don't like to read because you're in the background, but I'm gonna shoot it to you too because you're a pupil of Genix, Rashan, and Mona. So I definitely bring it to you. But I want Mona. Pastor Barnes, I like to call you Pastor Barnes because I like to show that respect. People need to know you're a pastor, okay?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit more in terms of being a student of the game? Because what you're saying is so powerful. I think it's going over a lot of people's head. People think you can just come on a basketball court, a baseball field, a softball field, and just go and play. They don't understand that there is things to this game, this education to this game, this statistic, this strategy. You can't just come out here and just do what you want. And the fact that Genix knew this and was teaching you guys at such an age, 7, 8, 9. I mean, you guys were so far ahead of the game, you guys don't even know. Elaborate a little bit more on that in terms of knowing and becoming a student of the game. I have learned that in terms of basketball and my professionalism. I mean, when I watch basketball now, I can't watch it like how everybody watching it. A dunk, LeBron dunk. my mind worked differently. I realized, man, that was a 1-4 pick and roll high. This man clear out with a down screen that opened up the lane for LeBron to go all the way through because this guy was occupied. That's how my mind see the game. I don't see the game like how everybody sees it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing everything's happening around every play that freed up that guy for him to get that shot.
Exactly.
So I see the game at a totally different level. So when I hear people arguing LeBron better than Kawhi and all these foolishness, I don't even get involved in these conversations. It makes no sense to me because I'm looking at how the teams are working with each other and I'm realizing, well, they're doing isolation right for Kawhi. There ain't nobody in the middle. Obviously, Kawhi got 2 or 3 options. He can definitely do what you want to do. One guy can't guard nobody in the NBA, and that's how I'm seeing the game. Now, at the end of the day, for a fun talk, we can say, yeah, this man better than this guy. I understand. Me and Bam was like that in complex too. Iverson and Marbury. But as I grew in the game, in terms of the game IQ, I realized this thing has more strategy and more formation and more coaching than a lot of people think. So I want you guys to just elaborate about how Genix really prepared you guys at an early age.
Well, for me, I would say what Genix did is he shifted my mindset. And even in the example that you gave, Tegan, people see the end result, which was the dunk, But Genix will teach you how to get to that dunk. Oh, but of course in softball, And so one of the things he did a lot with me too was watch other teams play. A team that we getting ready to play, you ain't running up and down, you sitting and you watching. Okay. And so he's able to tell you this person, because of the way they stand, they like it low, they like it high. So especially for me as a catcher, he would kind of let me know, like, this is how you have to get Darrell, whoever is pitching, to pitch this person. And then the team has to know when this person comes up, everybody got to shift right, or everybody has to shift left, or if your fourth hitter, if he just taught you the very essence of the game. If you have somebody on first and second, and you only have one out, these are the options depending on where the ball goes. And so because you learn that in practice, and that's the next thing. People fool around a lot in practice, but practice is what makes perfect.
That's right.
Perfect practice is going to make a perfect game. And so when we're practicing, we are actually operating like we're actually in a game. So you can be, people got a glove on their knee and they ain't ready. Then he gonna drive a ball in your area. And if your reflex ain't quick enough, you're gonna get hit. And then he gonna say, I didn't hit you, you ain't had your glove up. And so what happens in your mindset, I think the biggest part of what Genix taught was in the practice. It wasn't when we went to the game. When we went to the game, we already knew, I mean, it's sad to say, I look at some games today now and, if somebody on first and second, one out, and the ball hit to third base and the person trying to figure out what to do. That was automatic. Genix. No, you mash on the base, you throw second. If you get them second, and then you try first. Or depending on how hard they hit, just match the base and go first. It depends on how much run. I mean, he was a legend because he was ahead of everybody else when it came to coaching. And, I say that, bar none, and I don't make any apologies. I could tell you 3 or 4 other people that I played for, but what they did was the skill that Genix taught me, they just capitalized on it. Because by the time I'm 15, 16, I've now understand this game. I understand, watch this, the art of the game.
Yeah.
I understand the art of the game, but that's what he taught me at a young age. If the ball goes deep in left field and you on third base, you got to tag up. You ain't start running, going no place like you crazy. You got to tag up. So I think it, like you said, Tegan, it's the IQ and it's the mindset of actually teaching the art of the sport. And I think that's what Genix did, that a lot of other coaches didn't do. Watch this. Other coaches that had pound for pound, if we say it like that, better players, but they couldn't beat us.
Because they understand.
They had better players. but they couldn't beat us. Because, you know, I don't care how hard you go and how far you could hit the ball. When Genix know your weakness, you don't like it low and tight, that's where he goes. Or if he knows chase high pitch, he'll tell Derek, try it high. And you know, the person just can't get in their rhythm because he already knows their weakness and we just capitalize on it. So awesome. That's my piece.
Rashan?
So I gonna elaborate on what Mona said. Listen, these practices wasn't what I consider practices. This was like school. Every day that you went to the baseball field, you was in a class, a master class, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing that was so intricate about these practices was predicated on who you was playing that weekend. So each practice, each week was different. It was different aspects, different little nuances to the practices that was going on, depending on the competition that you was playing. You understand what I'm saying? It was never the same. And I don't want people to think that the practices was like the military, but Genix was so far ahead of the game, like Mona was saying before, right? He come into the ballpark with the plan already in his head. He already know which players need that little one-on-one. He already know what players need to be doing this. So he got this group over here doing this, another group over here doing something else. But the whole time he's seeing everything you're doing. And if you're out there playing around and joking, he's seeing it. He calling you out on it. You understand what I'm saying? He never let none of that stuff slide. You understand what I'm saying? But the mental preparation that Genix instilled in me made the transition from playing ball on the island to college so much easier. The things that my teammates in college was complaining about me and Biko and so used to laugh about it. You understand? So you laughing about, oh God, they want me to run 6 laps. Listen, it was one practice that I remember that I was getting ready for a game that we are playing, bro. The man tell me, put on the glove, you don't need it today. And the whole practice, all I was doing was running from the one side of the green wall to the other side of the green wall. He said, I'm gonna let you know when to stop. And that's just who he was. You understand what I'm saying? Some people couldn't take it. It might have break you, but mentally, you had to be mentally tough to play with Genix, man. You couldn't be, your mind couldn't be soft, or else you would have went to play for somebody else.
Yeah. If I may, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
sure. I didn't play with Genix, right? I played with another team. And so I played against Darrell, which was my cousin. And it was something, Genix, he taught me how to hit a ball a certain area at any given time. And Darrell, she was weighing our team down, man. She was weighing us down. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to drive this ball back up the middle. Guys, I hit that ball so hard that Darrell didn't have an opportunity to react. And the ball hit her like dead center in her stomach, you know? And instead of running to the base, I ran out to Darrell, right? And my coach, he's like, run to the base. And I was like, this dude was he crazy or what? She was, you guys know, you get a line drive straight back in your stomach, you gonna bend. And and the coach was like, stupid, you don't run to the base, After that, I quit playing for him. I said, listen, this is my family. Yeah, this is a sport, and I like it, but this is my family, and I could have damaged you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You that's just one out, man. Come on. And so I put and I say, you know what, Genix? I'm coming back with you, man. And I went back and played for him. We lose a game, we lose. And they were upset. But Genix even went to the coach and he said, you gotta understand, that's built relationship.
Yes.
You tell like from 7 to probably 14, 15 years old. Anytime this girl pitched, I was the catcher. Once or maybe twice, somebody has caught for her. And that was when we were at that tournament, So even that, Genix came to me and he was like, I know how you feel, man. You hurt her, but it's okay. It's all part of the game. So he even though he saw what I was going through with that other coach, he was still able to get my ear after that game and say, "Look, you did the right thing. You did the right thing." So that was a blessing for me. People think he didn't have a heart, but he got a big heart.
Absolutely.
He has a big
Absolutely.
heart.
That's true.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. If somebody wants to get you to the next level, you ain't gonna always agree with them, and that's just what he was. But yeah, he has a big heart. I'm 56 years old, and I can pick up my phone right now and call Genix and say, "I need to talk to you on any subject, anything," and he's gonna listen. He'll call me more than I'll call him. I just check it on you. I remember when I was the director of my team, and you get a little bashing and stuff, he called, "What are you doing? Listen to them, study them. You just do your thing." Always there for you, always in your corner, always encouraging you. And so that's why when I got the opportunity tonight, man, I was like, God, I am so blessed that I'm able to do this while he can yet still hear it.
That's right.
And in the mind, being able to see that the impact that he's made. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for Mona Bond. And I tell you, Genix has been one of the pillars in who I have become today. You listen to most people around me, one of the things they would never say would be a pastor. They would say other things, but he's had a heart, man. He had a heart, and he loved from a sincere place. I never hear Genix ask my mother for money for gas to pick me up. Never. He just did it from a pure heart, and I love him. I thank God for him. He's a legend. And Mumba, you said it before we came up live. I don't know what they building or when they're gonna rebuild these ballparks, whatever. But I'm telling you, one of them have to have Eugene Thomas on it.
I was gonna ask you that to know. You kind of take my question because let me start. Sorry, I was gonna ask you. You think he get enough recognition? Because I'm a basketball player and I know about him, but in terms of his Virgin Islands status, what do you think we lacking in terms of? Because I know he doesn't look for these kind of accolades and all these things, but that's when we really need to take care of people who really puts out their heart and do things for the community. And personally, I don't think he gets enough recognition. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't. Go ahead, Rashan.
That's the one thing that I wanted to speak on tonight, and Tegan, you hit on it, right? When you talking about recognizing people, when you're talking about naming buildings or ships or whatever it is after people, right? I feel in my heart what should be based on is the impact that you had on the community. You understand what I'm saying? Just pure the pure impact that you had on the community. And like Mona, I am not going to apologize for this. I am willing to debate it to the grave. You understand what I'm telling you? Name me one coach. Just one. That's all I want you to do. Just name me one coach that had the impact on so many pupils, boys and girls, on that island and beyond. You understand what I'm saying? Just one. Just name me one. That's all I want. Name me one that had the impact. But everybody else gained this recognition. They gained this name after them and that name after them. But who did they help?
Right.
Who did they help?
I will only put Sherry Simmons in there because I like Sherry a lot. She is a pioneer for the woman there. But like you say, Genix definitely deserve it. And one of the things I noticed, especially we growing up in the Virgin Islands, we like to attach names and symbols to guys who already make it, whether or not they make it to the major leagues. Kevin Krieger now being the first in terms of horse racing, and Tim Duncan. But just like you said, in terms of the people and who raised these guys to get them to the status they at, we have no recognition at all. So when a lot of people come to me and say, "Man, you play professional and stuff like that," I always point to guys like Dean Haywood and Cyril Benjamin in Rack and Mr. Peter, Donald Bow. These are the people. It won't be no me if it weren't for these people. So I don't understand why you glorifying me. I did not get to where I get to without somebody giving me that way. And that's what I noticed in the Virgin Islands. We don't you have man like Iceman, they don't recognize who been running all these basketball leagues for years. Donald Ball, you have Sherry Simmons, you have Dean Hayward, you have so many, but you won't recognize them because they don't play Major League, they don't play NBA, they don't play professional. I find that's foolishness, and I think it's more of a political game where you can attach your name to somebody because they make it.
Yes.
Listen, if somebody who have true impact in the Virgin Islands. So that's something we gotta change.
And Tegan, that's not fair. You understand what I'm saying? And no disrespect to the Tim Duncans and the Jerry Bronx and the Harris Clarks and the Elmo Plaskets and all these guys that have made it to the elite level. But what does that? I mean, is that the end game? The end game is okay. So I made it to that elite level. So you on this pedestal right now? No, the pedestal is the legacy that you leave behind. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about the legacy that you leave behind. Who is each one teach one? Who did you help bring up behind you? And who did they help bring up behind them? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right. And it ain't just about money. Yeah, I see Tegan running a program. You know, I make money now. I give back to the community. Ain't really just about the money. Like, you know, you come and you put your fingerprint or you put your stamp and helping the kids get better, and that's when you should get a building name after you. When you come back and give to some of the kids to help them move forward or get to the level where you are or where you was.
That's true. And also the longevity, the longevity that Genix has put in, you have 3 different generations here. Mona, you got Rastan, you got myself, and then Pang, you got your nephews, them, and then there's so many other kids and stuff like that. The longevity, the sacrifice, and it goes back to what Mona said earlier. Every day, he take a break from work, go and drive up, pick her up, take her to the ballpark and hit 200 balls every day.
Yeah.
I mean, and he just did it because the love of the game and the love for one another that he had for everybody else. It's just the love of the game, and he wanted you to succeed. He sees something in you. He'll see that diamond in the rough before you even see it. Yeah. And he holds your hand and he'll take you and he'll sacrifice. The sacrifice. And it goes. Somebody got this stuff on.
Somebody playing? Who playing?
So So the longevity, and it's just the sacrifice he made, man. The sacrifice he made, the time, he took out of his time to help people, and stuff like that.
Listen, when we went to that tournament, it was in the 70s. I remember to today, even when we traveled, Genix was like going in a uniform, everybody dressing alike. I remember the yellow short with the white pants. I mean, you had a sense of pride, like you just never saw it happen. I have a niece and a nephew that ran professionally. My niece ran in the Sydney Olympics, and sometimes they go into tournaments, to track meets, and they got a T-shirt. Somebody put a marker VI, and this is in the 90s. But back in the 70s, I mean, when we traveled with uniforms. We had people on that team that had never been on a plane. My cousin Doreen, she had never been on a plane. So even the opportunity to just travel and go to a foreign place, You gotta think about it. Just looking at all the teams line up, everybody white up. Outside of us being the only black team, they probably had maybe like 3 or 4 other black players within, I think it was about 12 teams, 8 or 12 teams. And when you look at that, you like, what? Canada, when you hear Canada, you like, oh, they must be really good, And Genix is like, he watching me like, we gonna beat them. He just keep telling me, we gonna beat them. When we lost that one game, I tell you, listen, when we came back, when I tell you blows to the next team, we practiced with no gloves right after the game. The morning, Genix brought us in a field on the side. The grass was high, like hay, plenty, like you're there in a little hay field. And Genix hitting you ball, no glove, 58 degrees. He said, you go catch it, you're going to catch it in the game. And did we do it? And even Sherry was on that trip. He just was able to get into your mind and shift your mindset to just make you believe that you could do it. And when we lost, some people you lose and cussing and thing. He was like, no, we just need to practice. We need to practice. We're going to practice. And that's what we did. Was he upset? Was he going down bad? Yeah. But you knew it was because of what we did. I think it was maybe like one error that blew that game. Somebody choked. And he's like, we can't choke. Because if we lose the next game, we out. And we will win. And I'm telling you, that team after, we tore them up.
Bean, you got anything to say? I got something to say about coaching.
I was just gonna say Genix sound like somebody that somebody need to find someone that could do a documentary on because
he definitely
have like a Hoosier story effect from the sound of it, and so we definitely need to find somebody that could do a documentary on he.
When we've been to Corning, New York, you gotta get a booklet to see what I'm saying. We got pictures. We were in the newspaper in New York, because I think it was more like these people of color, they're whooping us. Yeah.
Look, I want to say something.
Yeah.
I want to say something, Mumba, and I hope the Virgin Islands really listen to that. I must just say this from the bottom of my heart. I never really tell this story before because I felt I would have get in trouble. But something just hit my spirit. I need to tell this story. Virgin Islands have a very poor way to disrespecting our coaches. Them we don't have no idea how important coaches are in terms of developing young minds and taking people. You don't have to be a professional player, but creating a good human being in society. And you know what I realized that part? When I went 2013 with my wife to Puerto Rico, Seaborn, and moved to Puerto Rico. I went to support her. Ironically, she went to Guaynabo, the same place I played professionally for 7 years, right? Mm-hmm. And she don't know this, so I hope I don't get a lot of pushback. We was there for a year, and in 1 week, Guaynabo offered me close to $100,000 to develop Guaynabo basketball, the youth basketball, a contract, right? Now, here I am in the Virgin Islands. I was trying to get into sports park and recreation for 9 years. And I finally got in. And I don't even make close to $50,000. I ain't ashamed to say. So I actually turned down this amount of money for what I'm making now. But what I told the guys I'm in Guaynabo, I really appreciating what I was doing for me in Puerto Rico. But Puerto Rico have everything I wanted to see what the Virgin Islands need. Yeah. I could not spend my life on my heart because I wasn't chasing the money. I wanted the Virgin Islands to have what Puerto Rico has. So I could not tie myself into Puerto Rico in terms of chasing the money. I wanted to come back home to St. Croix and make a difference, no matter how much I make. But this discrepancy showed me how serious Puerto Rico was in terms of developing this sport compared to us. And I said, man, we have to do better in terms of our coach. We don't understand the importance of how a coach. To this day, all we, Mumba, Pang, and myself, we play with Coach Dean Haywood, and we talk to this man even to this day. The last time we played the complex was in 1998, me and Pang. And today is 2020, and we still talking to this man like he's our father. That's how important a coach is to you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
and just like you say, Mrs. Barnes, you saying that this man would call you even when you was the commissioner of IT, and he will still call you, and you will still. That's the importance of a coach. And until we get together, we think a little $3,000 in stipend, and I don't think them thing is nothing. We are doing this from the bottom of our heart, and we ain't really taking this thing at the level that we need to take it.
But allow me to say something, because you went somewhere, Tegan, and you kind of told me that story before. And I remember when I was in MAPS administration, and I was like, you talked to me about it, and I was like, what's wrong with us? The problem we have in the territory is we don't understand that for something to bloom, you first got to plant it. The planting, it's what you put into the soil. What we see, all we like to see is the fruit. But who did the planting? Who did the watering? Who did that cultivating is who holds the power. And the problem in our territory is we don't invest in the planting of the product. And that's, it happens. It happens. I say all the time, yeah, I like Timmy Duncan, and he was a great player, but there were a lot of guys around here. I would say it without fear of contradiction and bar none. There were better players than Timmy Duncan. When I used to referee in Shabbat, Timmy used to play that basketball court, and I'm telling you, his hand coordination was sharp. I'm just telling you the truth. They just used to put him in the middle and put your hand up, throw the ball high, and he would try a thing.
Yeah.
I used to referee them league, okay? And they were way better players. But the thing is, who was taking the time with them? Who was taking the time to make sure they had their school work done? Who was taking the time to make sure that after they come to practice, if they got issues in their home, that somebody is there for them? We don't invest in the seed planting. What we do is after his fruits, we want to jump up and say, well, yeah, he from St. Croix or he from whatever. And the people that are doing the planting, we're not giving them the resources that they need. Okay? Why would we have a Keegan in our territory and he making...
Don't say what you think.
I ain't gonna say nothing. But then you want the best of the best in this territory to go where and do what? And it's just not Tegan, but I'm gonna talk about him because he does it. But if Tegan was a different person, he'd have been like, you know what? Deuces.
Yeah.
100 grand to do what I love. Puerto Rico, I'm good. I'll fly over on the weekend or whatever. But because his heart is in it, and I see it. We're shifting to basketball now. You look at when you go to a gym and you look at tournaments and you look at coaches, you could tell who is really for the players and who just gather in a group to say they're coaching. You could see in the school league who just there for the stipend. And I know about stipend. Back in my day when I was teaching Paul B, you got 1,500, but it's more than that. Where are they when I used to get up every Saturday morning, take my basketball team to Hey Penny, run them back and forth because I don't know why cheering in East End was short. So I used to tell them we gotta be faster than everybody else. So I running them 2 miles on Hey Penny, but afterwards I letting them swim and then I take them to McDonald's. They realizing that I'm conditioning their body. Parents ain't giving you no money for gas. I point them in my truck. You got to plant the seed. The seed, the cultivator of the seed is who really should get the recognition. But we don't do that here. Genix, plant a seed. Cultivate it. Water it. We watch it grow and watch the fruit and still try to teach the fruit. And that's what needs to happen.
Beautiful.
Last night I was talking to a good friend of ours, Mountain. Me and Mountain been on the phone for about a good 2 hours. And Mountain used a very good word for me. that stuck in me, and I said I gotta use this on the podcast, and this is just for sports in general. All of us play sports when we were young, but there was a reason why all of we play sports. We saw something that was attractive in it. You know what I'm saying? Sports is not attractive anymore in the Virgin Islands. Like there is nothing for the kids to just, because they have no leagues or no programs or no camps or no nothing. There is nothing for the kids to be like, you know what, mommy? I want to be a part of that because my neighbor was talking about it and he sounded like he had so much fun. I want to be a part of that. Sports is not attractive anymore. So right now the streets is more attractive than sports. And that's sad. That's where everything is being directed now. The streets is more attractive than basketball and baseball, because the OGs are giving the kids them more to desire than, and they have no like I said, enough people that's not doing it for the sniping, but just doing it for the love of the sport, to see the kids develop. They have enough people to make the sport attractive for these kids, and that's what we falling short. And Mona use a good thing too. The government ain't putting enough resources out there for these coaches to use to develop these kids. You know, I remember we used to have a lot after school program. There was always something for us to do after school. You just had to choose, and a lot of these programs was provided by the government. And we just falling short with these programs. It's just not attractive anymore.
Let me I want to touch on, we talk about Tegan with the coaches, you know, about the appreciation and stuff like that. And I'm be honest with you, that's a touchy subject for me. And you guys already know that's the reason why I created the podcast, because the VI don't honor the coaches. Like, I'm 39 years old, started playing baseball for Genix when I was 8 years old, played professional baseball for 8 years. And if it wasn't the teachings for Genix, if it wasn't the teaching for Dean Haywood, I would have never got a basketball scholarship. I would have never got a baseball scholarship. I would have never get drafted in the major league draft. None of that would have never happened. And my journey through the minor leagues, and I'll talk about it, I'll touch on it briefly here, but when it's my turn to tell my story, I really go in depth with it. But my journey in the minor leagues and stuff like that, it was a struggle. You know, Terry Barron talk about the bus rides, and Roberto Smalls talk about, you know, the opportunities other people was getting, and you better than this. You see all of that, you know, and you coming from an island, and you kind of, when you by yourself and you don't see a fellow VI player to compete against or just to shoot the breeze with and talk with, and you the only one that from the VI in this system, and it's nothing but a bunch of Latin players and American players and stuff like that, you start to think a lot. And I used to think, and Terry Barron said it, and Rassan said it in their interview, that the reason why stuff didn't happen for them or other players is because somebody was like, oh, he's a hothead, or he smoke weed, or he does that. And that's the problem in the VI, is a crab in a barrel mentality. And it's never going to change until people start speaking up and say what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If Tegan is my boy, Pang is my boy, Rasan is my boy, I'm gonna, you know, get to know you and stuff. If any of them do any shady stuff, I'm gonna let them know. I'm not gonna be like, oh, because we cool, I'm gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let them know. And it's all about accountability. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. It's about accountability. And nothing will never, ever change in the VI until people start holding each other accountable. I've played against people. I've had teammates and coaches doing shady stuff, and they just be quiet. And up to this day, it's a lot of names that's been mentioned on this podcast that they have done a lot of shady stuff. And I've witnessed it. I've known it. And when it's my turn to tell my story, I'm going to say it is what it is, because right is right, wrong is wrong. And people know, but they just let it slide. So when we talk about, they don't honor coaches, it's never going to happen. The wrong coaches get honored and the right coaches don't get honored. There's no way in the world we should be in 2020 and Genix is not being honored. We having a podcast to honor Genix. we having a podcast to honor Dean Haywood. When Dean Haywood coach Complex since it was open, he sent a player to play professional basketball. He sent players to college. He sent players to play professional baseball. You know, he sent players to be doctors, lawyers, all kind of stuff. And we can't even have nothing in the school to honor Dean Haywood. Remember, Tegan, that Christmas, I said, man, we need to try and get the floor named after Haywood. Yep. He dissolved something, and he doesn't have anything. Genix dissolved something. He doesn't have anything. And it's crazy that we're in 2020, and this is where we at. Because the wrong people is in power, and people who know they're doing wrong, they don't hold them accountable. We have to start holding people accountable in order for us to move up, to move into the right direction. We don't even have a sports hall of fame. We don't even have a sports museum for the youths them to go and look at pictures, look at athletes before them to look up to. All our athletes, they look up to American players or Tim Duncan. But they should have players, local players that they could look up to, because guess what? If I want to come out and say, Tiga, let's go in the gym and shoot 50 jump shots. We don't go in the gym and shoot 50 jump shots. I can't go and say, LeBron James, let's go in the gym and shoot 50 jump shots. I can't say, Pang, let's go and play some, let's play some ball on outside court. Or Rassan, let's go to the field and play some catch. I can't do that with them other athletes, but I could do that with them. We need to honor these people that we could interact with and communicate with and pick their brains. And that's the problem. If you don't have success at the highest level, the VI doesn't look at you anyway. And that's the problem. It's a brainwash mentality, and it's sad.
Yeah. It's sad. And I think and this goes outside of sports. I mean, even as being part of the clergy, we so busy hating on each other. You know, we so busy. Well, I know he when he was so and so. Oh, I hear when he cost so and so, and they hold that, but they take their children and they take them to the States, and the coaches do the same thing, and they just sit there and they suck it up. You know, it's because we don't have love of self. We don't love Virgin Islanders. We don't love ourselves. And you know, I say it without fear of contradiction. We would love other people first. Oh yeah. You know, some people I can't stand Timmy Duncan. Well, they're on the Spurs. You think when LeBron come from, they saying they can't stand LeBron because he playing with whoever? They glad to tell people where he from. The way people glad to tell them for them to say where he from. But we can't love our own. We can't appreciate our own. But somebody will come in and do less than what we're doing, and they'll get all the praise. And I told you, Bumba, before I came, and you know, I call it like I see it. You know, they come with a shirt and a tie and they bamboozle us, and then they're the greatest thing. You know, but they for the money, and what we pay people to come in to do, what local folks could do, is ridiculous. And I know that for a fact. I've been in government, I've been in private sector, and I know how it works. You know, but I tell people, I choose to love me. Yeah, when I see Tegan, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah. You okay? Yeah, LeBron, whoever. That's my guy. Tegan is my guy. You know why? Because I see seeds that he planted today that it's gonna reap a harvest in the future. But because we can't wait. We just want microwave, overnight success. You know, I tell Tegan coaches the drum at my church. This young man has been in my church from in his mother's womb. And I see where he is today. And a lot of it is because sitting under Tegan's coaching, you know, sitting under me and understanding that if you want to be the best, then you gotta work hard. And when Tegan sits him down and he texts me 2:00 in the morning, I'm like, you're gonna be all right. He know what he's doing. You know, or he played a game and he think he disappoint me, and he text me or he call me, and I'm like, you gonna be okay? Why don't start no more? Yeah, okay, well, it has to be a reason why. So you gotta get back to practice, and you gotta earn back that position. Nothing is given to you.
Right.
You know, and he understands that's what we gotta do with our young people. But right now we just do your thing, man. Just do a thing, you know, and buy them some good sneakers and a good Jordan, but what are we teaching?
Well said. Well said.
And Tegan, Mumba touched on something, and Mumbai, you like take the words completely out of my mouth. This is like a super touchy subject for me also. I watched that interview that Ayo had with Zorro, and I listened to Zorro, bro, and that it hurt my heart. You understand what I'm saying? Because that man there should be in a position of power because he want to, this the crazy thing. The people that want to help, they ain't giving them the opportunity. The people that truly want to help, they ain't giving them the opportunity. And I don't, for the life of me, bro, I cannot understand that. And this man put his blood, sweat, and tears in this St. Croix national team for years and years and years. Pay his own way. When the Lions said that they were going to give back money, still waiting on the money that they said that they were going to give back. And you mean to tell me ain't got a spot somewhere for that man to help guide and mold and put his teachings on the youths, bro? That's a sad situation, man.
It is. It is.
I echo that, and I always felt like the Virgin Islands never truly understand the greatness of Zorro in terms of his talent and his capability. Pang will echo the same thing. Sometimes when we were young and we watching Zorro, like we didn't want to like say Zorro is the greatest thing other than Michael Jordan. The fact is we couldn't do what Zorro was doing. He was from another planet. When you say now watching a man dunking two balls, dunking from the future line, just gliding through people like it doesn't matter. I mean, this dude was just so talented, and I always used to like, do the Virgin Islands truly understand what you're watching? And when he told his story, and let me let the Virgin Islands know, he was probably the only guy who went to Oak Hill, leave Oak Hill, and a school from the States, fly down to the VI to give him a second chance. You know, good you gotta be to be that. You know, crazy
right.
that is.
And that's the top recruiting high school in the nation.
In the whole of America.
Yes, not one of the top.
Twice the St. Croix to recruit this man. You know, good you had to be. And I just feel the Virgin Islands just never have a true grip on our talent. And like, now I'm getting a little clarity what Pastor is saying. It have to do with a lot of jealousy and envy. We just see each other every day and we just don't believe this guy could be that. And we have to change that if we want to get along to the next level. Zorro should have a statue. Tim Duncan should never have no photo up at the airport. He should have a statue. Jesus Christ, San Antonio have a statue. Why are we doing with a picture? A picture can get blown down by a hurricane tomorrow. In my opinion, he needs to have a statue at the airport. He's one of the greatest players in all of basketball, not just the Virgin Islands, in all. Top 4, top 5 in Beanie Pang, right?
Right.
Why we still got a billboard picture up like we don't have no more pride than that, man? Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Come on, we gotta do better than that, man. This is our legacy, and we just have it like it's a picture. We just put up there and say, yeah, he from us, and it is where it is. Hurricane come and blow it down. We put up another one. It don't matter.
Hey, we like Ida just said, we got a bunch of senators and governors just want free car. Probably live in a house where the rent is half off, or the mortgage is half off. You know, like it's just that I just want this word in front of my name. But once I get a word in front of my name, all the hard work done. I work hard to get here. I know all the hard work done. I ain't got to do nothing else. Be here for another 2, 4, 6 years, whatever the term be. I move on to something else or something higher and just keep climbing that ladder, but ain't really leaving or Mona use it, ain't really planting no seeds and leaving a good trail as they move up the political ladder. And we just seen that too much, man. I remember when I was younger, we used to have like senators to our game them. You know, the person who the league is named after used to come to the game. Like where those people are, those people don't come to know the games no more. They have no more leagues named after them, no money they're putting into it, like nothing.
That's true.
They just
that's true.
all for themselves, just to collect that check, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to.
The only one, because you know, obviously I didn't think right, so I can't just take the statement and everybody think it don't happen. I definitely will push VLA with that. VLA is true and true, and we all know VLA. Whether he was a senator or not, he's a sports fan, true and true. He could be there, period. And that's one of the things I love about VLA. It's not about he being a senator. VLA was a person where he was a principal. He would know the Mad Counts team. He would know the band team, all the cheerleaders. He would come to all the games, whether it be basketball, softball, cricket, even soccer. Even one year, he even cost me to play soccer for Complex. We beat up and pull Good Hope, and then man get pissed. But that was VLA. He had us totally cared, whether he was a senator, a teacher, a principal, or not. And we need a lot more people like that, even when they go up to, like you said, the senator role. Just come back down and show a little bit of humility to show, like, man, I still a part of you. And that's what it's all about. You are part of us, we are part of you, we support you, but we all are one, and we're trying to put the Virgin Islands on another level, and we need more of that.
Yeah, we definitely need more of that. And, you know, they're supposed to be building a stadium down west, and hopefully, you know, when they build a stadium, they could have a plaque, or they could have, you know, a mini statue or something with Genix, you know, not just Genix, but all the other forefathers that came before, you know, that had an impact in the sports, you know, in the game. So, you know, that's just, you know, it's a touchy subject, but, you know, truth is truth, right is right, wrong is wrong. It's like each one teach one mentality, and that's the only way you could survive, you know. Genix gave a lot of sacrifice. He gave a lot of sacrifice, you know. He did a lot for a lot of people. He saved a lot of people's lives, a lot of people down west life, a lot of people in Harrigan, Mali, Raleigh, you know, Wim. Genix did that. He saved a lot of people, young man life. He saved a lot of people. He needs to be recognized. He needs to be honored. Excuse me?
He saved mine.
Yeah, he saved yours. I know that for sure. Yeah, he saved a lot of people, you know, boys and girls, you know, boys and girls. So
I was on a track where, you know, it wasn't going in the best direction, you know. And I tell you, if it wasn't for Eugene Thomas, you know, and just he would ask me, and yes, everybody know I'm a pastor, but, you know, like he would ask me, so he said, what should you do? What you really do? And I'd be like, what are you doing? You know, and this had nothing to do with the sport. This is just life. Like he hears something, when he sees something, he like, what are you doing? You know, and just to know that even as I became a young adult, even when I wasn't playing the sport anymore, he still was concerned about me as a human being, as a person. You know, Genix wanted him and I to start doing some coaching. He's like, you could do it. Basically, he was like, I teach you everything that I gave you, all of me. I teach you this sport. You could turn around and coach it. You know, and I still thinking about it. You know, I am 56, but I still feel like 34-ish.
You look 34. You look 34.
I'm willing and I believe I'm able, you know. But yeah, man, it's just the whole man.
So let me ask you, Mumba, one quick question. Mumba.
Yeah.
I know Genix is watching, and I know you're probably crying because he's a little softy. You can't text him and tell you come on for 5 minutes. Just send in the link. Genix, come on. We just want to see for 5 minutes so the people can put the
face. Man, I believe you could do that. Come up, Genix. You remember? I said, come on, man. He said, you got your notes? I said, notes? I don't speak from what's in my heart. I don't have to write down no notes concerning you. Maybe something else, but I ain't gotta write no notes because it's just life and what he created, you know, and who he is. So that don't require notes. But yeah, he called me this morning to make sure I was on my game.
Yeah. You know,
as I said, send in the link, Mumba. We want 5 minutes just so he can say goodnight to the panel. Send in the link. Let's go.
If he watching and he hear you, he will. If he wants to, he gonna call. You know, Genix watches the show, you know, as much as he can, and he's a big fan. He just liked the idea that we honor so many different athletes, you know, so many different coaches and stuff. he's a supporter and he loves sports. Sports has been his life. You know what I'm saying? And he just loves seeing us honoring different people. And he watches and he tries his best to watch as much as he can, man.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I want to touch on about Genix too is the fact that when I was playing Little League, he had, you know, this Sabal, the lady Sabal. He had Rasan them. And he still had like the man league players and stuff like that. He would be practicing one team, then the next team, then the next team. And so when I went to the ballpark, it would have like Rasan them, you know, Kareem, his brother, you know, JD Clark. And then you still have the ladies then coming to play Sabal. So he was around a bunch of different people. And sometimes he would tell you like, hey, don't leave. Stay after practice. I want you to watch them practice. And he would just show you like, look, you know, the same thing I'm trying to tell you. And if you have a hard time listening, watch. You got a grown woman, and it's the same thing. And he would get down and Sherry or Jennifer, you know, a bunch of different people. You know, Rasan, Kareem, JD. Like, so you was around a big family of athletes, and you would just see the examples he was setting. And he would be hard on a 9-year-old the same way he'd be hard on a 17-year-old or a grown 45-year-old woman. You know?
Mumba, you know this just like I know this, and Mona know this too. Listen, some of the most vicious, some of the most competitive practice game them that we ever play was against the women's softball team. You know? Listen, them y'all could ball and ball hard. You understand? And he would keep it even keel by pitching. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. So he would keep it kind of neutral that way. So he'll be the pitcher for both teams. But when I tell you some of the toughest drag out practice game that I ever been in was against the girls softball team, bro.
It's true. It's true.
I went to college, right? I went to Fisk University. And my second year, I played on the men's baseball team, you know. I was a walk-on on the men's baseball team. When I went out to practice, they were like what? I was like, I could play the sport. And they was okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, and when I went on the field, they were like, what? Like, you could really play this sport? Yeah, I was like, yeah, I played this from 7. I was a walk-on basketball player at Fisk University because I took an academic scholarship. I walked on. And they were like, can you play? And, you know, they were just listening to my accent. I was like, I believe so. You know, and I was a walk-on. And by my senior year, I was a captain of that team. Why am I saying this? We produce some real seriously good talent in this territory. We do, you know, but this generation that I'm seeing now, the resources to make it successful, it ain't there. It ain't there, you know, and it's so much Bates could do with his, you know, as far as sponsorship. It has to be something that's locked tight. Like, this money is for the preserving of our athletes in this territory, whether it's basketball, football, whatever it is. We're talking sport tourism, but we really understand what sport tourism is? I don't think we understand. We just say it because it sounds good. Because they're trying to build a stadium, but they don't get it. It's bigger than the stadium. You know, you got to get people and you have the people that's dedicated to do it, but people got to be paid their worth. They got to be paid their worth. You watch a man like Tegan and well, anyway, let me stop.
Yeah. I am working on the government. I don't want to get fired tomorrow.
Yeah, let me stop.
It was 9 years ago.
There are a couple of things, and I will tell you there are a couple of things that I am working on as well, because I have some partners within the continental US, and it's just to change the trajectory of just some of the things in this territory. You know, we got to believe that we can do what we see other people doing. Why we don't own nothing? Why?
It's true.
Because when I said, Tegan, look, you got 10 grand. Okay, let me, you, and Mumba, and Rasampo, 10 grand, and we're going to do this. First, we're like, yeah. And then afterwards, like, you can't talk to this woman, you know, saying, like, you know, like, when Mona was fixing, no, she a thief a candy farm. And then we just, we ain't doing it no more. But somebody else that we don't know, they'll come here and you give them the idea, they'll take the idea and run with it, and everybody will be behind it. Y'all a lot younger than me, but I'm telling you, I preached about 2 Sundays ago. There was a funeral I did last week Friday, and I told them I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired,
right?
Of watching this territory and what we have become. I'm sick and tired. Everybody, Black Lives Matter, but it only matters when a white person kill us. It don't matter when we kill each other. It has to matter.
It has to, especially all the deaths that just happened with these past couple of weeks. Yeah. We don't even hear a peep.
And so, I kind of come from another level, and we could do better, and we got to do better. There's just some things that I'm working on that it's gonna happen, because I from young, I'm not going anywhere. I told somebody that the other day. I like you, Tegan. People have offered for me to move to certain places for the skills that I have from the military, emergency management, and people have offered me money as well. And I'm like, but I live in St. Croix. That's my home. And if there's any place I'm going to invest in, it's going to be in my home. And what you offering me, I got enough wise and enough knowledge to create my own wealth.
Right.
We're not teaching our young people entrepreneurship. It's so much. It's so much, but when it's given to you, you got to give back. And so there's just some things I'm going to be doing in the future that will make a difference.
I definitely will be picking your mind. So I love what you're doing. So just keep doing it. I love that. And that's one of the things I love and respect about you. I don't want to switch subject in terms of Genix, because it's all about Genix tonight. But one of the things, I'm working with a couple of young guys now throughout the COVID, and Pastor Mona Barnes brought down a young lady from Houston, and they met with some of my guys, and you would just go to the extra length just to reach out to try and help some of these young people. And I was like, man, that's great.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the VI don't know about it, but me and you know. And that's what we do. We're not doing things for the public to come out and say, yeah, we did this and did that. We're doing things on a low where it's going to impact young people. And that's just the bottom line. So many people call me and say, oh, we want to have you as coach of the year and all the things. I don't want none of that. I ain't in for all that, because I think that the motive is not genuinely right, in my opinion. It's all about the young people them first. And at the end of the day, if we produce young and successful Virgin Islanders, then my job will be done, and then you can give me anything you want. But until then, that's just my goal and everything we're trying to do. So I just want to put that out there to let her. I know behind the scenes, she should do things, and you don't hear about it, but I know about it. So I say keep doing what you're doing, and I definitely will link up with your friend in Houston and tell her, son, and we're gonna try to bring down some more basketball stuff in the VI to help the talent.
Yeah.
Well said, Tegan. Well said.
Any viewer question, Mumba?
No.
I have one funny story to tell about Genix. Can I tell this one? And then I go shut up for the rest of the night. Can I tell this one? So, story time. This is my story. So, I always get a lot of sticks from my boss. Right now, she's my boss, Jamila Henry. She always telling me I can't play baseball. I don't want to play softball with a sports park and recreation team. I would like to say when I was in Complex, Genix used to challenge the win players them all the time. Just like Mona say, we never win. God, them girls was really good. He had a player like Jamina, and he had a great team, right? But Genix didn't come on. That's why I really wanted him to be on this show. I was the only man to hit 2 home runs in win. Me, without muscles. So please come and give me my credit, Genix. Come on and give me my credit. Let these people know I hit 2 home runs in win. I want
it. You proud of hitting a home run at woman?
Yeah.
And slow pitch. And slow pitch too. And slow pitch fine.
Hey, but you did say they were real good, so You did say they were real good, so
yeah.
That was slow pitch. Slow pitch don't count. Slow pitch don't count. Mona, I tell you.
And I want Genix to come. I give him my credit because I took his picture over the fence. Okay, woman, man, whatever. She was a woman, yes, but she was over the fence. Twice.
Who was the Sherry asked who was the picture?
It wasn't Jenna for sure. Jenna was too good. Had to be somebody else, but it wasn't Jenna. Jenna them were pitching like,
hey,
I don't
was slow pitch.
Anybody else. Jenna them was serious.
It's slow pitch, Tegan. That don't count.
Ask Phoenix, whoever he put on the mound to learn how to pitch. Tegan took them out. That's my point. I just want you to know. I knock it out. Okay, give me my 2 home runs.
That's funny.
Paz, eyes like you, this man pulling straights after hitting home run off a woman, man.
I got to.
Once he could get his brag in, Rashan, he gonna get it. Once he could get his brag in, he gonna get it, brother.
Give me my props, Genix. Come on and give me my props.
Oh, God, man.
My cousin right next to you. Neg, come on for Genix and tell them, give me my props, okay? 2 home runs.
I do have a question for you, Pastor Barnes. So after you left St. Croix, after you finished high school and you went after college or army. Like how much did you keep in touch with Genix, or how much did he keep in touch with you and still, feed you knowledge, coach you, advise you? Like how much of that was going on when you was starting off in your career?
Genix has been a part of my life from 1970 to present, even when I was away. Wow. When I came home, today was Wednesday, I was sitting with Genix Monday. He called me Sunday and asked him how we doing, and I just didn't like how he sounded. And Monday I was down by his house. I said I'm gonna just, run in and check on him, and I ended up being there almost 2 hours. So even when I went to college, when I came home for the summers, I would always look for him. Or if he knew I was on island, he would call me. He has my number. To today, I would say Genix talks to me probably at least once a month. It's I tell you, it's like that uncle, it's like that uncle that really, I love you a lot. And so every opportunity you want to be around him, or you want to talk to him. I don't know if you guys know that he's a writer, Something he mixed up and he gave it to me. He said, read it, tell me how it song, how this song, and I'm telling you, he's an excellent writer. And he told me Monday, we're gonna sit down and do something together. He said, I want to do a piece with you. I'm gonna do a piece with you. And I told him, yeah, you should do a piece with me. I was on a coach when I was 10, no, I'm just kidding. But 10, 11, 12 years old, he made me feel like I was a cut above everybody else because he was actually teaching. I mean, his intense teaching of the sport. That I could go and look at a professional softball game, women game on TV now and be like, okay, this is what they should do. This is the pitch she gonna throw. And I see it, I'm like, why still guy, Because let me tell you, once it's taught, it's in your mind. It's there. Now, a lot of other things might occupy space in your head, but it's there. And what he has taught me will be forever, everlasting. And what I've passed on. I remember a lot of people talk about my cousin Makil. Makil used to play for me in Pro B in elementary school. But I teach you. Okay, yeah. Okay. I know when he was in 3rd, 4th grade, I had him out and them bushes up by Pro B, but yeah, just like how I was taught, that's how I taught, Right. I could meet, players that are, they did real well. And it's just because of that teaching, man. And the one thing I loved about Genix too, you could always reach back. And even if you were playing against him, if you were doing something and it was wrong, he would check you. Serious. That used to just really like freak me out. Like he would be like, what kind of stand is that? Like, will you like what stupidness you doing? I remember as an adult, maybe like 10 years ago, they had a little league and I was playing in it, and first time I came up to bat, I pop up on the infield and I came back to bat the second time and I just heard his voice. Oh, stands ain't wide enough. That stands ain't wide enough. And so I'm hearing him and I'm making the adjustment, right? And the picture is she's in her motion. And he said, wider. Hit the bar to the fence. Like, it was still like when you heard it, the voice, when you heard the teaching, when you heard the instruction, it put you in a zone and it just made you be your best. And that's what he does. He does it with a lot of players. He remembers your position. I remember when Genix was teaching me to bunt. To the left side, to the right side, to the middle, in an angle. He's telling you it's your feet. Your feet and your hands is gonna direct where the ball goes. And so you did it like doing the same thing 10, 15 times, and you feel like you're stupid. But then after a while, when he calls for it, when you go up to bat, it happens because
second nature.
Second nature. Yeah. There you go, Rasha. He taught you to the point where it became second nature. That after a while, you didn't have to think about it. You just knew what to do. That's a coach. That's a coach. When 15, 20 years, what he taught you, it is yet still in your memory. That's a coach that had an impact.
That's right.
So true.
Definitely had impact. So impact on my life. And so listen, I'm sitting here and the only thing I ain't gonna do because, try to be tough is this. The tears just won't fall because when I think about what he did for me, it makes the heart like, wow, somebody really took the time to invest. He invested the most precious thing, time. Because what's this? Once it passes, you can't get it back.
Man, you some Pastor Bonds.
Dropping gems.
Man is so strong. I'm like, golly, Genix Jesus. He really going on a pedestal.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when I see him, it just takes my mind to a next level. Makes you go back to remember the things that you did when you were younger and being able to appreciate it. And it does something for me. That Corning trip, I'll never forget it. I was 12, but I didn't know what racism was. But you know what that looked like in the 70s?
I can only imagine.
Children with 2 black coaches. That was like one of these things are not like the other. One of these teams is not like the others. But we never feared because we were with Genix and we knew that we were gonna be straight, we were gonna be good. And we were.
Let me ask you, Pastor Franz, did he ever spoke about who was his idol and stuff like that? What player he liked to watch? Because I know he's way before us. Obviously, you're talking about the 70s. I mean, me and Pang, Mumba, we were just touching that 70s going into the 80s.
I wasn't born yet. I think maybe over here.
Right now, did he speak of who he looked up to?
No, I've never, I can't say that I remembered him speaking of anyone. No. But, I know who I speak about.
I know. But I would like to hear if
that was a good question.
How was his career? Did he have an opportunity to play?
Yeah, but no, I don't know who it is.
Okay. Good, Beanie.
Pang, you could hear us? Yeah, Pang, he frozen.
Frozen. Yeah, I was just asking because I would like to know if he had like an opportunity to play pro. What happened? Did he play in any type of leagues and stuff like that? Some of his earlier days before us. Some of the stuff that I would like to hear about him.
Yeah, so, I know he played in a lot of the man leagues because he was like, the one of the better pitchers within the territory. But yeah, I only know him playing in the territory. I know he used to pitch. Wicked too. But yeah, pitching was his thing.
Beanie, back?
Yeah. My bad.
What was your question?
No, I was going to ask, did he ever pursue how far in his baseball career did he get, or was he just always a coach?
Well, from knowing him in the 70s, I always just knew him as a coach. I can't, and that's why, Genix, if you're listening, you need to call in or text us or something. But yeah, that part I don't know, so I can't say.
Hold on, frozen. Genix calling. Hold on.
Okay. You got a call from the man.
Again, not Genix.
Put that speakerphone, Mumba.
You saw what? Hey, we got to represent you, man. We got to represent you. Wait, hold up. Say it again.
Hello.
Yeah, say it again, Genix.
Huh?
So answer the question again.
I said they want to know who I used to look up to.
Yeah, who you used to look up to?
My favorite player be my mother.
You guys hear? Your mother. Okay.
My favorite player be my mother.
Your mother. Okay. They hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then my father was a disciplinarian. Mother and father.
Anything you want to tell the live audience?
Yeah, tell Tigan you get 5 cents a piece. Tigan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got 10 cents for you. 5 cents a piece to hold on them, okay?
That's right. I just saw my story before. Tell my story.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Genix, you might have to turn on your radio so they can hear you better. Yeah.
So we could hear ourselves in the background.
I got 2 nickels for me.
You got 2 nickels. You hear it? 2 nickels,
I want to listen closely, right? When I was living in Hurricane, you had Mumba, Roach, Neg, and Makil used to come every Friday night to me to sleep. You go home at Sunday. But every Saturday I got to cook. I got to make samambal and okra fungi for them boys to eat. And I love that. So these are the little things that keep us friendly and keep them there and help me to be able to guide them there. You know? We are the closeness. So, what I want to ask me now, let me go.
So there we go. Ask your
Tigan,
question.
you go first.
And here, if I can say, I'll answer.
Hey, my number one thing, I will never forget out of my life, and you don't know how much you kind of helped my humbleness. I remember one time I bragging on the basketball coach. You was actually coaching softball at the time, and you heard me bragging. And my God, you put me in my place so bad. You cussed me so stink. I still remember that to this day. You told me I was too big. I was good, but I need to humble myself. I won't make it.
Tell you, can't hear you.
Okay, you tell you what I said.
Hey, Genix, Tegan said that he appreciate how you humbly when you attack to you in the basketball court, when how you put in his place. He said that he appreciate how you humbly when you attack to you in the basketball, when how you put in his place.
He had misbehaving. He was misbehaving. I didn't want him to misbehave. So
yeah. That's true. You got pretty plays, Genix, when he misbehave. That's how that's the rules.
Yeah.
Mama, as he asked what was the most significant play in the Corning New York tournament?
Hey, Genix, Mona asks, what was the most significant play in the what tournament?
When we've been in Corning, New York.
In Corning, New York, what was the most significant play?
Two things that stand out in my mind is okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah, they're ready.
Okay. The score was 4-4 in the final game. Us head against us. 4-4 was the score. In the last, in the sixth inning, we are going 7. And Doreen Barnes were batting. And the girl was pitching really good. And Doreen said to me, Genix, you want me to take out the game? I said, could you take out? She said, you want her out? I said, could you take out? She said, you want her out? Okay, I'll take out. Doreen went back to bat and lined the ball back so hard to the pitcher. She couldn't put the glove on the right side to play the ball. The ball hit too hard. So she put her right hand and the ball cut her finger like a knife. Seen them. She had to come out of the game.
Wow.
So I mean, this girl, and that's the second time I see that girl calling. She come to me and tell me, we are playing a sign farm. Now the Dickerson were pitching against us. Scores 1-1 in the 5th inning. And she said, man, Genix, you want to come out of the game? I go back next one. I said, you could take out. She said, you want out? All right, I'm going to take out. She lined the ball back up and Nadia shin. Nadia had to come out of the game. I mean, These are the kind of players that, I mean, you can't buy them, so you got to make them.
Facts.
Wow.
Mumba,
this girl she could have hit the ball up. Mona, the same thing. He could have hit the ball up the middle at will. But the best play in Corning was the last play of the game. The score was tied 4-4. They had bases loaded. Corning, the last spot. A ball, 2 outs. I called time out. I said, Magda Santos. I said, Magda, if the ball hit to you, you know, 1 out. I said, if the ball hit to you, you got to try your best to catch it and make a good throw to the plate. You have to. Then the ball hit and Magda come in about 5 steps, catch it, and come up trying. Beat the girl to the plate by 2 steps, man. Wow. I was so glad I believe I'm going to jump over the building. Yeah, man. The girl play ball. I put my niece to play the first game. And the first ball hit went through her leg, and I called time out and take out the game. After we were not winning the game, after the game, all the girls them vexed with me. All. Mona and all of them. I say, yeah. To me. Tomorrow,
the worst it was for you.
Put her in the first, put her in the game. The ball hit. The first ball hit to she again, or no? She went down, whole body, knocked the ball out and throw. I said, that's the kind of girl for me. Yeah. Good coach. Yeah. Well, I wonder if you remember when you were pitching professionally, right?
Yeah.
You remember? I'll come and tell you that I see your stats and you got a problem.
Yeah, I remember. I was gonna share it on the podcast, but you could go ahead and say it.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I don't remember. Yeah. And that's to show how keen this game is. People are checking everything about you, sir. They want to win. Yeah, so thanks for calling me.
Hey, Genix, we have a question from Stephen Panghaj. You coach his nephews as well too. His question was which did you have more joy from playing? From playing or coaching?
Which one?
Stephen Panghaj, you coach his 2 nephews, and he have a question for you. His question is, which did you have more joy from, playing or coaching?
Coaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened is I used to pitch, and had a fellow named Hossein Canasium.
No, Jose.
So we were close in pitching. Same type pitches, everything. But I couldn't beat this man at all. Couldn't beat him. We're going to play in a league. When time for playoff, the first game he beat me 1-0. The second game he beat me 2-1. And the third game he beat me 3-2.
That's disheartening, man.
The only time I get even with him was when the lights came to Frederickstead. They had the first time to say, they want to try the lights. So we had and he was pitching with Christian. And we went 11 innings, 4-4, and they called the game. But I couldn't beat this man at all. Good. He passed, I think, last year, or this year. Good. And you see, you had a league which part you used to play all over. Had a league in Saint Farm, a league in Langford, teams in Christiansted, even Frederickstead. It's unbelievable. Everybody had their own, not using Kwame Park or no. Everybody had their own park.
It's true. That's true, remember.
Yeah, man.
Mumba, actually, if you realize the impact that he had on so much people.
Good question.
Yeah.
Great question.
Rasan Smith is on the live. I know you see him. He asks, do you realize the impact you had on so many people?
If I do what?
If you realize the impact you have had on so many people.
It come like, yes, I realize it. he come more friendly to me, you know.
All right, we got a question. Oh, go ahead. You was gonna say something, Genix?
Yeah, the whole thing of like making friends to me.
Oh wow,
be like making friends.
It's powerful. We have a question from Tegan's sister, Carrie Shepard. Her question is, what made you want to be a coach?
The ignorance that I see the other coaches doing. The ignorance I see them doing.
Yeah.
You said the thing that they teaching the children to do, you know. You want them to make plays and they didn't even learn the plays yet. You know what I mean?
So true, man. So true. That's true.
The child got to learn to catch. You have to protect himself, and you, as a manager, got to know how hard. Don't tell them too hard to each other, because they might start and then when the ball pass and it come closer, and you realize it, and you try to ball hard and the reaction time because it's closer, it's slow, and the boy get hurt. But you, when you start to try to ball harder, you, the manager, the coach, got to know. You do it. Don't let no child do it. No. Hurt the child.
Genix, we have a lot of people in the live, they're watching, you know, and everybody just have nothing but great things to say to you. You know, Sherry said hi, Sherry Simmons, yeah, Terry Byron said hi, you know. Oh, go ahead.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. You deserve it, man. You deserve it. And a lot of people
absolutely.
You know.
Don't worry, man. I will come to the show on my own.
Okay. You hear it there, Tegan?
Me and Mona will come.
He and Mona will come.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll come and give a night.
Yeah. Patricia Lindsay said Lil Pat said hi as well. Melissa in Melencia Encarnacion as well. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong.
Thank you, man. Thanks to all.
Yeah, man. Everybody said thank you as well too, man. You know,
yeah, man. Much love, brother.
Yeah.
Everybody appreciate the sacrifice you have done, you know, for everybody, you know, so.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure.
Yeah. Hey, Genix, is always a pleasure just for you to share some of your history and some of them gems, you know, and hearing people could hear the way how you speak and how you just you honest and keep it 100, you know, so we appreciate that, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't worry, man. I come in on the show sometime.
Yeah, definitely. You just whatever day you want to do it, we will make that happen, you know, for you and Mona.
Okay. Yeah.
So Genix, man, you have a good night. I love you. We all love you. You know.
Yeah.
And we gonna talk.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Bless.
All right.
Wow, man.
Awesome, Bumba. That's probably the first ever podcast we ever did with a man calling. Bumba,
wow.
Use this thing, use a bad mother. We gotta pass on the show. Shut your mouth.
Hey, God, Tegan, you're a mess, brother. You know, so, hey.
I can't see a better reason to start coaching.
Hey, man.
That was awesome. That was a great answer, right?
Hey, I can't see a better reason to start coaching.
And he's right. It's so true. I mean, he is right.
He is right. Everything
and you ain't teach them. What kind of crazy kind of mentality is this? You know how many times me and partner in basketball are we watching the lower level and manager shouting out, my son set pick, you said no pick.
And the player just running in circles because they don't know what. Yeah, they don't never teach them to set a pick.
Yeah, everything Mona and Rasan echoed earlier in the show and throughout the show. Everything Genix said, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. I got goosebumps and everything, man.
Me and you, bro. Me and you.
And you hearing him, the way how he answered the questions, that's just how he was, man. He just tell you straight up, honest. He don't hold anything back, man. You gotta cherish that in an individual. You gotta love that honesty. But everybody, you guys made him proud, man. Everybody, everybody made him happy, man. It's good to see him feeling that way, stuff.
He didn't finish the story. He didn't really say the story that he said when he called you and asked you, you're doing something wrong. You don't want to share that?
Well, so in minor league baseball, right? It's very tricky, and Terry Byron could attest to this as well too, just because we kind of in the minor leagues. You're in a system, and sometimes you might feel this way to approach the game, and sometimes they have a different picture about you. So like it had a season where they wanted me to work on a split finger. First time ever trained a split finger in my life. And if Terry will tell you that's probably one of the hardest pitches to learn, besides like a knuckleball. And I struggle in the season. Like I just struggle. And in minor leagues, that's just part of the game. You're gonna struggle because you're working on something. You have to perfect it, you gotta work on it. And Rasan is a pitcher, man. Pitching is just not like this. You got to walk, you got to practice, you got to get in a groove. Your mental aspect got to be there. If you have any second doubts pitching, if you're not committed, you're going to fail. You're going to suffer. And I had a horrible season to everybody on the show. Like I struggled. I had a horrible season. And I guess Genix used to watch my stats and he used to listen to the games then. And he called me and he was like, man. And that's like Mona said and Rasan said earlier. Like he's attention to detail. He knows everything about every player. Like Mona and Rasan said, in practice, you will be practicing for that team. If you facing that pitcher, you practicing for that pitcher as a hitter, etc. So he knows me he knows me. How I am, how I get frustrated. I'm competitive. I will, bad body language. He knows that's just me. He knows me. And he called me and he was like, hey, Mumba, you know why you're struggling? You're not using your fastball enough. You're walking a lot of people. You're pitching. You're picking pitches. You're nitpicking and stuff like that. He keep it 100. He keep it honest with me. And he was absolutely right. I was nitpicking because I was walking on a split figure. I was pitching away from contact and stuff like that. And minor league is tough, man. Pitching is one of the toughest positions because you got to be mentally strong. And if you have any second guessing, any doubts in your mind, if you lose confidence, night for you, night. So he called me and he told me and he hit it right on the head, and that's just the knowledge of the game. He might not have to see me pitch, but just hearing the game, watching the stats, he knows, and that's just Genix, man. He wants everybody to succeed. He wants everybody to win. He wants everybody to do good. He just wants to see the joy of satisfaction in an individual. And I know it hurt his heart to see when I was struggling because he know what I'm about. He know what he taught me. So he had to call me, and let me know. So that was the conversation,
Wow.
Do you miss the fungi and okra?
Oh, for sure, man. Hey, that's Genix, man. That's Genix. Genix, you don't understand, like I said earlier, he used to go and pick Makil up and bring him all the way west, man, so he could sleep in his house and stuff. And like he said, man, me, Roach, Neg, Makil, he would cook for us and stuff like that. Talk the game of baseball. I know he did it with Rasan and Mona and so many the different athletes, out there and stuff like that. He just loved the same way Tegan and Pang, like how you guys love basketball, man. This man loved baseball. He loves sports. He liked to see you play the game the right way, respect the game, and he liked to win, but he liked to win you playing the game the right way. You're not going to win playing the game the wrong way. That's not going to happen with Genix,
Not with him, for sure.
Yeah. Boy, I miss the foods, man. Hearing his voice and thinking back on the memories and stuff, it's a lot of joy, but it's a lot of sadness, because, he give you good memories, man. You want to go back and experience it again. You know, you don't realize how important those moments is until you become an adult. You know.
There you go. There you go. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
What he teaches you as a child, you could still apply it to your life as an adult. You know, that's something special. That don't just happen. You know, that is something special. You know, so I know it happens for me. I mean, even sometimes when I'm preaching, you know, the attention that I pay to detail, you know, it came from Genix. You know, if you don't just go out and just do something, you figure out what it is you're going to do and master that thing, master it. You know, so yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, beautiful, man, beautiful. Hopefully, you know, he feels better and stuff, and him and Mona could come on. It'd be amazing. It'd be fun.
It was awesome to hear his voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was good to hear.
And when he said I was being rude, I got a bone to pick with him. I want to argue to him, but he was right. Put me in my place, Jay.
Look for your 10 cents tomorrow, Tegan.
Yeah, I need that 10 cents. I think he confirmed. Because I know my boy, Mumba and Pang won't believe me. But yes, I did hit out two of them.
Here we go.
I don't really care because I know Sherry put a couple comments saying she got pitch and stuff like that. Nah, I ain't worried about that kind of game. But if Pang will hit a game any day, so Pang, you come home and pitch and I'll hit.
Tiga, you put yourself in some deep waters because Sherry want to pitch against you. She says she want Mona catch. Terry Byron said he want you to face Rasad. Your sister said she want you to face me, and Pang they want you to hit as well too. So
don't mind them, Tiga. We're gonna be ready. I want to hit some talk.
And I will tell you one thing, Tiga, and Sherry ain't no jokey pitcher either, no. So don't get
so don't play with Sherry.
I will catch for that. Now I might get but it's you know.
Tiga, you put yourself in trouble, brother. You on Pang. You're in trouble.
I ready for that celebrity ball game.
He used to do some really good things, man. That's one thing I said. Like everything we echoed tonight, in all seriousness, we need to have some type of memory for this guy. His name got to be somewhere because, man, like look how many people now calling in, texting, saying how many people's lives he's touched, including the panel tonight. I mean, we can't let something like this just go to waste, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I will be for any effort in terms of naming any ballpark or putting his name anywhere, having his story told, you know, even having something in terms of all the players, coach come and sign so people can see the lives.
Come here.
Like you just mentioned earlier, Mumba, ain't one generation, 2 or 3. It's about 4 or 5 generations this man coaching. Man, we can't take that for granted.
Can't, man. Can't. He was practicing 3 and 4 teams in the same time, man. Same session, you know, from 2 o'clock until like 9 o'clock at night. You just baseball, softball, you know, senior league, man league. I mean, you know, it's just you know, like Sunil is just, you know, everything Sunil was talking about is what Genix represent his whole life. You know, he's the definition of each one teach one. That's Genix. You know, the same way, like he said, you know, he had to put you in your place. But he said, I don't know if you heard it. He said it was all in love. But that's what it is. That's what it's all about. He ain't a basketball guy, but he knows about you, and he had to share what he felt will help you in your career. You know,
he wrapped me pretty thick. I ain't gonna say what he said, but yeah, he did put me in my place, and I was humble enough to take it.
So let me try something for the first time. Since we have so much overwhelming comments about him, people who have experience. So to the viewers, if you're watching, send Mumba your phone number and just give us 5 minutes of your Mumba could send you the link. So we could just give us 5 minutes of your time where you could share a Genix story. Seriously.
Wow. Yeah, that would be cool.
Kang, I love that. Anybody want to come on and share a Genix story? Let me know. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to I'll post the link up on the live so you guys can see it.
Give me
let
me just get something to drink on.
Hold up, I wrote it down. Let me find it.
I'm coming right back. Excuse me for 1 minute.
Yeah, you good.
All right.
Oh man, where I put this thing, man?
So, Pastor Barnes, how's the temperature on the island? How is the overall being on the island?
Well, as far as weather, it's hot. As far as the climate, you know, because of this spiking now with Corona, I am hoping that people going to just be more alert to their surrounding. You know, we spiked real bad here in the last week or so, and you just gotta take care of each other. You know, but it's like everything else. You know, you gonna take it serious, or you just gonna figure it ain't gonna never happen to me? No, everything I don't agree with as far as responding to the COVID virus, but that's just me personally. You know, but if they tell you social distancing, let's do that. We still got people want to be all up in your face, you know, and part of the issue is some stuff that, you know, some of the people that came into the territory, it's no secret. And so we just we gotta guard our borders, man. You know, it gotta be people. You know, this is my,
up here.
And I ain't going nowhere. No, I said, this is my home and I ain't going nowhere. I love it. And it's got to get better. It has to get better, you know, but we just got to step up and make it better. We got to stop saying it and we got to start doing it.
Right. One of the things my sister, when we did our first episode, she had loved the episode, but one of the things she called me and texted me on the side, she said, you talk about a lot of great things, but don't just talk about it, be about it. Make sure you follow through on a lot of things we say on the podcast, and that's one thing that we're gonna keep up to ourselves. We're gonna make sure that we really get some stuff started once we're able to get back outside.
That's good.
That's true. Your sister is 100% right. And, you know, we're going to make some changes. You know, this is why we created the podcast. We created a podcast to Anna, and we're going to definitely, you know, do a lot for the youths as well, too. You know, we got to help the next generation and preserve, you know, the history of sports in the Virgin Islands. All right, so we have Terry coming on, Terry Byron. He wants to share a story. The Grovian, Terry Byron. Well, good.
Good man.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
We can't see you yet, Mumba.
Super T.
That's the Grow Black.
Ain't the Grow.
I can't see it.
You got to lighten up a little bit.
Can't see?
It's really dark.
I can't see you.
I can see you good. What? Let me see. Let me call. I'm gonna call. Let me remove myself and see if that help anything.
Okay. Big shout out to my uncle Bugsy. Bugsy watching the live. Big up to you, Bugs. You don't know we to work.
There you go.
Rasama Gainan.
Hail up, Terry. We'll go to you, my boy. Good to see you, my boy.
How you doing?
Yeah, man.
Good.
I got a Genix story from when I've been playing All-Star 11 and 12. So, when I was 11, first game to All-Star, right? Genix was our coach. And our team was me, GB, Papo, Jabari, a heap of weeder, man. Heap of SPS, Reds, Chewies, Dusters. That was just basically the All-Star team at that point.
Yeah.
So we didn't practice. So of course I goofing off in practice because I knew
Hey, wait.
I was gonna make the team.
Terry. Some of the people I'm saying they can't really hear you good.
Come a little closer.
They can't really hear me good.
Yeah, your voice is kind of low.
Man, I got a deep voice, the man.
Talk louder.
Yeah, you can hear me better now?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it was 11 to 12. My first year going 11 to 12 All-Star. I did it like, man, I know I going to make the team. So, of course, during practice, I did a goofing around. I think me and Valence are fooling around. And Genix were like, listen, Terry, you think I'm afraid to send your little ass home? I'll send your ass home right now. You could take that ignorance someplace else. Let me tell you something. Then he make me run. Then the man make me run some laps, and I was like, what? Me know wrong with this man. This man ain't my coach. This man only going to coach me for a little bit of time. I guess he vexed some out of blows me in Guinea. What? No, sir. After that, the man, your boy gets so humble in practice. It was like, speak unless you're spoken to during practice, mister. Don't go around there playing around and goofing around. If you want there really to learn and to help win, Genix wine about that life, mister. Yo, and we went and beat East that year. That year it rained in East, and them man are mapping up the ballpark floor. Them man had sponges out there trying to sop up water because we are beating them, and they didn't want to take that L just like that. And I said, listen, we're going west with this trophy. Tell them take that.
I remember that day. I remember.
So wait, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me ask you a question. He wasn't your coach at the time when he tell you run?
Say that again, Tigan.
You said like when he was telling you the story, he tell you to run, and at the time he wasn't your coach. He was stepping in?
Yeah.
No, he was the All-Star coach.
All-Star coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was coach for the All-Star team. But as the coach, he had the deciding factor if you make the team or not. And Genix did not care how good you were.
No.
Genix was not about that talent life. Genix was about that coach life. Are you coachable? Are you going to listen? And are you going to execute?
That's right. Terry,
After that man had.
I got story, Jerry. I was the runt on the All-Star team. It was my brother JD, Glenn, Mario Suarez, all the big boys them. And that was the year that, if you remember, it was a girl playing the league from Williams the Light named Dolores Smith. She was from Williams the Light. Coincidentally, she was my cousin too, right? So All-Star time come around. They picked she to go and try out for the All-Star team, right? My brother, them, everybody, them, there. I joking around, playing, me taking nothing serious. I laughing and playing with JD and your brother, them, and stuff like that. My son, time for selection day, and me hear my name call, and they call her name. My son, I bawl so bad in that shower that night, my son. Hey, Mama, my mother been in the shower holding me. It's all right, baby. Listen, that was the most heartful experience. And you know the man come to the house the next day, and you know what he said? He said, Rasan, this gonna be a learning experience. Take things a little bit more seriously.
Wow. Wow.
And that was that man. That was it. Take things more seriously. Yeah, man. I had to sit on the sideline of the All-Star game, and this girl make it and over me.
We definitely need more of that, man. Like where coaches, because they got talent, that person could do like almost anything on the team, like, and don't get no reprimanding for it. Like they know they're untouchable, and we definitely need. That's not the mentality we want our kids to be raised up with.
Yeah,
when you do something wrong, you're gonna pay for it.
That's true.
Matter of fact, the best thing coaches to do, when you're on the right team, when one person mess up, everybody run. Because now your teammates gonna start holding you accountable. You know what I'm saying? If you're that type of player always disrupting and playing around, now your teammates is gonna start holding you accountable because them man don't want to run. And we need more of that and stop relying on one good player, you know, to save you or make you look good as a coach.
Yeah.
You make yourself look good as a coach when the team responding like a team, like a community, like a family, and you could see it in the play. You know what I'm saying? Right? So
that's true, Pan.
He definitely the display a lot of what we need today.
That's right.
I have never played for him or never met him, but I just love the stuff that everybody's sharing about him.
Mumba, so you see Bugsy in the comment, Uncle Bug saying the man been in Wim Park today. Even during Corona, he been at Wim Park today. So that's dedication, that's love.
But he say he been in Grove today too.
So, yeah, he been in Grove.
Genix been all over the place.
That's Genix, man. That's Genix for your brother.
Corona can't stop he.
So who else want to come on and share the story? Do you have any more story that you could share for us, Pastor Barnes?
Let me see if I pull out. You know, corning is my biggest biggest experience for me.
Yeah.
But not really, you know, because what happened is for a moment I went to play with other people because after a while, you know, Genix had built such a team that we weren't losing, you know, so you were losing the interest, so we kind of split up and some of us went different places. But anytime you played against him, you bring in your A game. That's for sure. I could tell you, you know, sometimes certain teams you playing them, you know, you don't need your A game to win. You know, but he forced you. Anytime you saw him come to a ballpark, when you see that little, I forget the model, that little car. I think he's still guy. You know, that little 4-door boy. When you see that, they pull up. You know, and he fat like the Batman, and he come out with a bag on his shoulder. You know, his business.
Yeah.
If you're against him, you better bring your A game. Because if you ain't bring your A game, it ain't gonna be a good night for you. So, yeah, but that experience, and then, like I said, I want to reiterate it, man, because I tell you, I don't know of any other professional team in this territory that have done what that team did in Corning, New York, in the Cinderella. It was the Cinderella World Series. That's what it was called. You know, everything. We win everything. Queen show, pitching, RBI, home run, batting, MVP, most valuable player, most improved player. We win all of it, every trophy. When we came back here, I remember they had a motorcade down Frederickstead. I mean, and you know, they had gotten some people that had convertibles. We were in these convertibles. I mean, it was, yeah.
That's nice, man.
A moment. Better than us, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
We win so much championship on the national team. If we see News 8 Avis at the airport, we lucky.
No, man, they're telling you.
Lucky,
They had a motorcade and they coming down the street at Frederickstead to the ballpark. And I mean, people were cheering, they were clapping. You know, Genix still, he got all the clips. He got a clip from when we were in Corning. He got the clips like when we came back, you know, and it was an experience. I tell you, I'll never forget. I felt a sense of pride in knowing that I practiced at a sport and was able to just be very successful on a national level. You know, so that was huge for me. Huge.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the entire show. I just feel the Virgin Islands never really have a good grip of the type of talent we had in terms of people out there representing the Virgin Islands. We just, I don't know, if somebody ain't make it, we just feel like nothing is happening. But it's so many more players was better than the one that make it. I tell people all the time, I know Pang he's on the show and people could think, he's one of my favorite players. I firmly believe in my heart, if Pang did the same route like me, Pang would have been 10 times better than me because he was already 10 times better than me when I met him. His athleticism, his talent, what he could do. It's just that the opportunity wasn't there for him in terms of me, some on his own, because he's on the show, he will let you know, and the breaks didn't go his way. But man, this dude Pang was great, man. This guy was great. So we just don't understand the talent we had, the man. It's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy.
And we still have it.
Right.
We still people that just have the natural talent. I remember when my niece and nephew used to run track. My niece, I remember one time she had the flu. She got out of the bed with the flu, went down to complex. When the 100, 200, went back home, back in the bed. She used to run so fast that her hip used to slip. And we used to have Dr. Williams
pop it back in place.
Yeah, to reset her, But again, I mean, she was my niece too, and the same thing happened with her, Just natural talent and not discipline. You get with some of these coaches, and because she's so good and they don't push her to her next level. They weren't at Genix, like telling her, if you ain't doing it right, do it again. Oh, she's great, she's gonna be great, and yeah, she did some good things. She ran in the Sydney Olympics, and for her age she did well. But when I think of what was missing, it was that essence of that coach that will make you do the things you think that you cannot do. And I would tell anybody that's coaching, you start babying and pampering your players, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose because at the end of the day, it's guts, You get the basics. If you get the basics and you got a heart to do it, I don't care how good you are. If I put in the time and I put in that extra work, eventually I'm gonna get you. And that's what happened. Yeah.
And I think humbleness too, because I'm gonna say this publicly. I say it to my boy many times behind closed door. But I'm gonna say it publicly. That humbleness and that belief in God goes a long way. And I'm gonna tell you, I tell people all the time, Zoro, Tim Duncan, and the next person is Coffee. I'm gonna tell her this. Coffee is one of the best players I've ever seen in my entire life. In terms of basketball. No, I ain't want to shift the focus. People don't understand how good this dude really, really is. That you can have another professional player telling you, this is one of the best players I ever see in my entire life.
Right.
He had everything. Discipline. He had intelligence. He was super smart. He could play inside. He could play outside. He could dribble. He could shoot. He could pass. He had no weakness.
Yeah.
And I just tell people, when they see Coffee walking around St. Croix, people just watch him and say, oh, yeah, that's Coffee. He do a lot of push-ups and stuff like that, trying to show off his body. When I see Coffee, right, I see, Pam, you laughing. I'm so serious.
I know you're serious, but go ahead. Go ahead.
He's one of the best players I have ever seen in my existence of living. He has everything. Period. And I always, when people come and say, oh, you better than Coffee, I never even hesitate. I ain't nowhere close to this guy potential. This guy was just so good that if he was tall, because things in the States go by height, if Coffee was 6'8", it would have been Michael Jordan, it would have been Tim Duncan, it would have been Larry Bird and stuff like that. LeBron. Coffee would have been better than LeBron. I'll put my name on that.
It's just opportunity, man. Tegan, it's just opportunity for Coffee. I'm telling you. I'm up here and
greatness until they actually see Coffee was that good of a player.
You know what I
put in my grave and tell people from the bottom of my heart. I play everywhere, every continent, call all the countries. Nobody I see like Coffee in my life. None.
You know what I think like as we were talking, I think a lot of times when people don't make it and make it far or make it. In my head, yeah, it'll got a lot to do with opportunities and the player, but we as a territory to fail a lot of us. We don't fail a lot of our players. I remember I gonna say Puerto Rico because they're closest to us. I remember wherever we used to travel on the national team, and Puerto Rico was there. It felt like we wasn't in Puerto Rico. We could have went Venezuela. It felt like we was in Puerto Rico. We could have went Cuba. It felt like we was in Puerto Rico. We could have went Africa. It would have felt like we were in Puerto Rico because of the support that they don't get. When they travel, they ain't just traveling with the team.
I'm telling you,
they're traveling with a fan base because they got that true support. You know. They don't fail their players. They don't fail their athletes. They don't fail their kids because they don't support parents, everybody to play their part, you know, volunteering, you know, doing whatever they could do to help the territory look good while they're out there. And we are failing our kids in that part because we don't have enough parents at practice. We don't have enough parents at the game. We don't have enough parents pushing the kids to you know take up some type of sport. It don't have to be baseball, it don't have to be basketball, but just take up something other than just going and playing hide and seek outside or until they get to a age where hide and seek can get boring and they want to do something else outside that they ain't got no business doing. You know, we are failing our kids today because
basic support. It's just basic support, like you said. It's just simple, just showing up at the game and show your kids them that you supporting them, and we don't have that. And now you guys in the States, you guys have an opportunity to see how important this thing in terms of youth sports, how the parents them are at a way another level. Something just in the Virgin Islands, it just never click us like we have the talent. I think, and I always say, I feel sometimes they look at us like babysitters, but I never came home to babysit nobody's child. I'm trying to definitely mentor young men, mentor young women, and try to take them to the next level. And as long as they discipline and stuff like that, the sky's the limit. But I'm not coming home to be no babysitter. You have to come and support your child.
Right. Let me show you something. Go ahead.
No, go. I'll piggyback after you.
So you mentioned something up in the States. It don't matter what league you put your child in. They're gonna get a coach. He if there's any money given, the head coach will probably be the only coach getting paid. Everybody else gonna be volunteering their time. The assistant coach, everybody. But that team gonna be fully staffed. They're gonna get assistant coach, they're gonna get coordinator, they're gonna get team mom, they're gonna get and the parents out there supporting. Majority of the time, it's usually the mothers. We don't have enough men out there supporting the kids. You know, it's always the mothers, and that's one thing that I feel so disappointed because the mothers the beat to practice, mothers the beat to game. You just don't see enough fathers pushing for the kids to be great in sports or whatever activity they take up. But we don't have that in the Virgin Islands. We could have a team. And the head coach is the only person out there. Maybe once in a while they got assistant coach, but it just be the head coach and the kids. That's it. That is it. Nobody in donating ice. Nobody in donating Gatorade. Nobody in doing nothing. It's just like you said. It's just like you the babysitter. I gonna stay home and relax and maybe I come to the next game. Maybe I come to 2 games down the road or you know. It's just we just don't have that support, man.
Well, what I was gonna say is that so like up here, I coach at 11th grade boys AAU team, right? And the reason why I got into coaching is because I'm trying to build a pipeline for the kids them from the VI. Now, the places that we play in the live NCAA live period. So we go to Atlanta and then you got Disney and stuff like that. So we playing in front of scouts. So we have a 10th grade team and 11th grade team. They're playing in front of scouts. You know, college scouts, Division 1, Division 2, NAIA, JUCO, and stuff like that. And support is very, very important to support. But the most important thing is the foundation. If you have a good coach and you have a foundation and you have a coach that wants the best for the kids and go do whatever it takes to give the kids that opportunity, that it's gonna be there. You know, the parents and support. Some parents them just don't have the time to be there for the kids. But I think it depends on the level of the competition. If we're talking little league, etc., it's important for the parents them to be there. Once high school comes and you traveling and you going to Vegas, Atlanta, New York, Philly, DC, you playing in these life period tournaments, it's the coaching and what you learn as a kid growing up, the foundation that was instilled in you is what's going to give you that opportunity to take it to the next level, and that's it, man. I've seen it. I'm telling you, I'm going to these tournaments and I'm seeing other NBA players have their own basketball teams. Tracy McGrady have his own team. Russell Westbrook have his own team. Raja Bell has his team. Kevin Durant has his team. And I'm going into these tournaments and I be thinking like, man, I wish Pang, Tegan, Coffee, myself when I was playing Mountain, all the different basketball players had this opportunity to come to the States and play on a travel basketball team and play in front of scouts as a sophomore, a junior, and a senior in high school. If you have the opportunity, it's sky's the limit. It's sky's the limit. And I see that. That's why I got involved with this sports to build a pipeline, not just for basketball, but for baseball too. So if we have a good kid in the Virgin Islands, and you could be like, hey, Mumba, I have this kid. He nice, man. For the summer, somewhere we could get him up to Orlando. He could play on the team. And then he could play in front of scouts. He has an opportunity to get a better opportunity. So it's so many different avenues that we could help so many kids and stuff like that. Like Pang, like you saying, parent support and stuff like if they support and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get the kid the opportunity to maybe play a trouble basketball team or a baseball team, football team, make that sacrifice, etc. That's important as well too, but it's so much that goes into it that I think the people in back home don't realize how serious it is up here. Like it's so serious when it comes to sports, man. It's so serious, and it's so many tournaments. It's every weekend there is tournaments going on. So every weekend in the summer is tournaments going on. What the kids them and St. Croix doing, all these kids having these opportunities week after week after weekend after weekend. So it's so much, man. It's so much. If we could have somebody, if a bunch of people could get together and sponsor a travel team for St. Croix, and then they could go to some tournaments in the States, that would be so good for them. Because what's going to happen is, and I'll tell you this, I've rubbed shoulders with scouts and you will talk to them and stuff. If they like your talent, they're going to come and look for it. Zorro is the perfect example. If a kid from the Virgin Islands come to the States and play on a travel basketball team and he get looks and he has to go back to St. Croix, that scout is going to go to St. Croix and look for that kid. And guess what? When he's looking for that kid, that's when the opportunity for other kids could shine now. And then and I think you guys know this, they'll be like, hey, I see this kid. I think I see a point guard. I think you might like him. He might call Davidson University and be like, hey, I'm looking at this kid, boy. I see this point guard. I think you need a point guard. You should come down. You might like this kid. And it's just a word of mouth, man. It's a word of mouth. And once that spread and stuff like that will happen, man. It's so many different avenues to take that could help out,
I want to say this, Mom. I want to get an opportunity to say two things. One, we had it, because I know that you shift the basketball. I remember when I played basketball, Paidi and I have remained friends today. I've been friends with Paidi from 7th grade. And Paidi was just in a league by herself. Okay? You're talking about a girl in 4 games in school, okay? She scored 74 points, at least 74 points.
It's crazy.
Not the team, just one person. Before there was ever a 3-point line, Paidi was shooting 3-pointers.
It's crazy.
Okay? This is in the 70s. Okay, we went Central in 76. I graduated in 81. And back then, you had your parents to the game. When St. Thomas and St. Croix come over, the gym used to be packed, but you could hear your parents when you dribbling a ball. My mom used to be like, it was, sometimes it had gotten embarrassing. You'd be like, oh, like, mommy, shh, but we had it. But something happened and we lost it. We lost it. I remember when I started coaching at Pro B. And my second year, and I told them, I said, for my basketball team and my softball teams, I said, if somebody 17 years or older from your house don't come to the game, you can't play. And at first, I told them, okay, so they had to maintain a C average. And to every game, if you played, you had to have either a 17-year-old or older from your household at the game. And at first, the parents fight me, but I said, okay, that was when they had just come out in education, when they were giving, parents time to come and check on their children. I said, listen, the games were after school. You could do one or two things. You could use that time, or you could take your lunch break. But you got to put your foot in that gym for me to see you, for your child to play. And let me tell you, that first year, the parents gave me a lot of, they don't take all of that. But let me tell you, by that third year, anybody will tell you when Kirby Larson was playing a game, that gym, it had people in there. Why? Because the parents, and I used to, listen, I used to be in their head. So tell your parents, bring your mother and father. Because I tell them, if they come, you can't play. I used to tell a child at practicing every day lunchtime. They there with me 4 hours on Saturday, and then they come to the game, and if nobody don't show up, they don't get to play.
You put the ownership on
the parents, they had to show up. And guess what?
Right.
They showed up. And then afterward, it became a habit. Once I gave them the schedule, I would have parents calling me, Miss Barnes, I'm on my way. I running late, a day in a meeting, but I'm coming. And it did something for the children. I remember when I took a team to St. Thomas, they had brought a team from Washington, and same thing. I tell you, I applied a lot of what Genix taught me. I remember we played in a UVI gym, and myself and this young lady named Rita Joshua, she was coaching with me. We were the only female coaches in the whole tournament. And we tore them up. We blew them out. Them guy was at St. Thomas like, how are you have 2 women beating you like this? It wasn't that. It was the discipline. When I traveled with my children, same thing. We dressed alike. When we went to the gym, we were color coded so I could look out and see who my players were. And you give them that sense of like, yeah, when they came to the gym and they see like, wow, he's the only one that dressed alike. Like, we did fundraisers to get a T-shirt. When we had, listen, it is a mindset. And once you get in children's head, they going to perform for you. And I'm telling you, we went to St. Thomas. I'll never forget the first game. I couldn't be there. It was the first time I ever preached. And it was a Sunday. And they had a 15-year-old that just used to be around me. He coached the team with a paraprofessional that she didn't really know basketball, but I told her he can coach them because he used to be with me all the time in the gym. The first game we played, we won by 4 points. When we played that team in the championship, we beat them by 38 points.
Wow.
That's when
yeah,
when you want a good team, because you, like you said, you play the same team, they beat you by 2 points, 3 points, but when you win, it is not even close, because you know that they didn't beat you when you played. We beat ourselves.
Yeah,
that's when you know you got it.
Yeah, that's even about when Paddy and I used to play basketball. It wasn't no WNBA and all of that stuff, but if it were, I'm telling you, Paddy would have. I'm gonna tell you, and I tell you, Paddy was off the chain. You hear what I'm telling you? Off the chain. I was one of the first female in this territory. I used to play with brothers from Harrigan. You remember, when they had the little tank shirt, and so when I went to play, they were like, "Why you Brazil showing them, man?" And they were like, and they were like, "Put on a t-shirt," and I put a shirt over. I tell you, I was probably one of the first persons that did that because I was playing with the boys in Harrigan, and they had the shirt with a big open, and they were like, "Put on your t-shirt," and then put your uniform over it. So the opportunities that the young people have today, we didn't have it back in them days, but, I mean, Tegan will tell you, I come in the gym and I look at the games, and I just have to tell you the truth. A lot of it is the lack of coaching.
That's true.
Teaching the fundamentals of the game. When you could be a senior in high school and you can't do a layup with your left hand, that tells me something.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely right.
When you still ain't figure out a good bounce pass or a lead pass, that tells me that you weren't taught. You just came in and you were just doing a thing.
And it's sad because there's too many kids came to the high school level that, like you say, can't dribble with their left hand, can't lay up, too scared to lay up. And because they were dominant, being a right-hand player at wherever they came from, they think that's going to take them to the next level. But it's hard for us in terms of trying to shape them to the next level. They haven't been properly taught.
Exactly.
It's poor.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, that's one of the things that's in my heart. Because like I said, sports gave me an opportunity. I traveled so much in sports. So it's a way for a lot of people that they probably will never get that opportunity. But if they can learn a sport, and like you said, Mumba, we could set something up where in the summer, whenever they know, listen, we're gonna be going to New York, we're gonna go to Philadelphia, and they know that, they're gonna put in the work.
Right.
That's true.
You don't put in the work. I tell you, but when you playing and you practicing so hard, Tigan guy, you probably want to throw up when you finish with a practice, and then it's just for what? 10 games in a season, 20 games, I don't know, and then what? Yeah, we used to look forward to going to St. Thomas. We look forward to going to the state. We look forward. I mean, I traveled. Playing basketball and softball.
It was attractive. I gonna steal a word from Mountain. Yeah. That was my new word. It was attractive.
Attractive. I like that.
I like that, Pan. Position to make these things happen. They look at our sport now as a babysitting thing. They don't think that we need to spend all this money to take these kids. The same thing that took us out from where we were to put in a position to be now in position of power and influence in terms of athleticism and sports. All of a sudden, it's like we're now looking down on the same thing that helped us to come out of where we were and acting like it didn't matter. And that's the problem I'm seeing, just pretty much throughout the BI. We're not paying too much attention to the sports, especially education. One of the biggest things I'm having, this is my problem, and this is my beef, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care who get mad with me. Throughout education, when I look at the girls' basketball league, they have about 25 different coaches from elementary all the way up. But when I try to run a summer league for girls, none of those coaches who coach girls basketball want to coach in the summer league. There's a problem there. If you think about developing these young ladies in terms of developing their game, you will follow them all the way through. But the difference between education, they give them a stipend, summer league, you're going to do it from the bottom of your heart and free. Guess what? Nobody can find time to coach the girls them in summer. That's poor, and that's bad. And whoever is doing that, they can call me whoever they want to call me. They heart ain't no game to develop no players, and they should represent schools.
Listen, but the thing becomes, so I'm gonna take it to another level. You got folks coaching a game that they don't even know how to play.
Well, yeah.
I remember, I told you,
Right is right, wrong is wrong, brother.
You don't even know how to play the game. So how are you coaching it? How are you coaching it? And I see, I mean, sometimes I look, even with softball, I look at some of the coaches and I'm like, you don't know how to play this game. But it's like you say, it's a stipend. You know, and listen, you know, I'm like, yeah,
like I mentioned
before,
it's such at a low level. We accepting it like it's a lot of money. I'm not gonna degrade nobody who don't make money like what I used to make and stuff like that. But comparing to the States and other people who give their time to coach, a coach in the States literally will make about $30,000 to $40,000 a year at the low end. That's the low end in terms of coaching any sport.
Very low end.
But you making a little $1,500, $3,000, and you think that's the greatest money. You have settled, you have belittled your mind even to what this thing is all about. We are doing this from the bottom of our heart. That $3,000 that they're giving you, that's nothing. That's nothing in terms of coaching. That can't pay for the time you have put in to these young men and young women. It's foolishness. And the fact that now they are putting this money, which is pennies in comparison of a young person's future. You're putting the money in front of a young person's future. That thing hurt me. I so hate it. And I ain't gonna lie. When I was president of Interscholastic for 1 year, I told the education board I would like to do away with the stipend for 1 year. Wow. If they could have put my neck on a chopping block, my neck would have get cut, brother. I would have been hanged. I won't be up on.
All about that. It just shows you where their heart is.
Exactly. My plan was, let me weed out the people who don't want to do it for the love. Just for 1 year. Let me weed them out who don't want to do this from their heart. Because they're doing it for the money. Let me do it for 1 or 2 years without no money. Let me weed them out. And let me come back with it in the next third year. And then you can start giving stipend so we can get the right people in place. Right now, we don't have the right people in place. And that's our problem.
I agree.
We have a question, Tegan. We about to wrap this up soon, but we have a question. From Chani Judge. What age group you mostly work with outside the high school level?
I normally pretty much work with most of the high school guys in terms of 15 to 18, 19, because I think that's the age a lot of people don't want to touch. A lot of people like to work with the 7 to 8, the 9 to 10, 10 to 12, and those areas because they feel like those kids are easier to control. They ain't walking with no guns and blah, 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 whatever. But they leave them when they reach 13 to 15, and I don't like that. I like to work with that age because I want to show them if I have somebody in the community that ain't gonna give up with you. I still work with younger kids too, don't get me wrong. But I like to focus myself on those young men that people are calling the troubled kids. Our kids, them ain't born bad brothers. It's the opportunities that are presented to themselves. And even in Little League, sometimes I see it, they like to go all the way up until 13 and then they cut these youths out. But from 13 to 19, this is where these young men are actually making their choices where they want to be. Should I follow the street?
So true. That's so true.
Should I follow this positive light? So I like to work with that age group because that age group need more guidance than anybody else. But I do work with all ages, but that's my focus. Somebody got to work with them, man. I know everybody saying they won't do no lead for them and they won't run them because they're too bad. Yes, we have bad eggs, but I don't believe that. We can't just give up on these young men. And I'm gonna tell you, you guys in the States, me and Pastor Barnes is here. These men are getting good at robbing, and now that man stopping car when car moving and robbing that man on the street. I never heard about that in the VI before. You heard about that, Mona? Just last week, right there, Rams Automat. A man driving and that man pulled 2 cars, one stop in the front, one in the back, and robbing and going about their business. These man getting high tech with this thing. So if nobody ain't putting out the time to show these men an alternative, all we doing is producing men for the next level in terms of jail, and then the next level in terms of a lot of El Chapo will be on St. Croix. That's period. So
and I'm telling you, I'm tired of burying them. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
It's changing. And it's changing fast.
Told him last week Friday, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, at one point I was averaging a funeral a month of a young black man, and I'm just one pastor. That's messed up. I buried a young man last year. He died in a severe car accident. I mean, I could say PD, the jockey. I buried his brother last Friday. Man. And he was murdered.
Jeez.
You know?
It's just getting crazy.
Yeah.
These guys are starting to perfect their craft. We might be looking the other way, but when you hear man stopping car when car driving pan, you driving on the highway and a car pull up in front of you or behind and robbing you. These men are perfecting their craft, Benny.
Yeah.
And this this is the broad they like.
They have too much idle time to sit down and think of these things.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
They're getting away with it. That means they're perfecting it. The other day, even today, they read some dude went by the soccer field. He was just chilling right there by our DS. He had to run and leave the car. That man just come, pull up next to he. My boy gone flying. That's how this thing is going. These men are perfecting their craft. And like I always tell the leaders, don't think you're untouchable. At the end of the day, if you ain't putting up for these young people and they don't respect you, when a person have to eat, he's going to do whatever he takes to survive. Yeah. You're not untouchable. This thing is a problem, and we have to fix it.
That's true.
Well, everyone, this has been another amazing episode. Start off by, we'd like to thank you for joining us, Pastor Barnes.
Thank you.
Do you have any shout outs that you want to give for anybody who you would like to see get interviewed? We will give you the panel to help us close out the show.
Yeah. I just wanna put my money where my mouth is, and I want to tell you, I had a talk, but I put my money where my mouth is, And if we are going to do something, for these young men, whether it be basketball, I mean, basketball is my thing, or softball, or even baseball, I am willing to put money behind it.
Right.
People always say, money is the issue. A lot of times, money is not the issue. It ain't an issue. It's the people that are going to be dedicated. But I will tell you, I am ready and prepared. And Tegan will tell you, I'm in contact with some people in the Houston area, and we're gonna do some things.
Yes.
I look forward to the day, Mumba, when you call or Tegan and you say, look, we ready to do this. We're gonna we got some players that we're gonna want traveling, and we need such and such dollars. And I say, you know what? Come and get a check. Somebody did it for me.
Right.
Love it.
Somebody did it for me. So I can put my money where my mouth is. I've been thinking about Pidy, and I keep going back and forth about starting coaching again. It's something that I'm gonna start at my church, even after COVID, a little league in the area where my church is. Because after we build the church, the first thing I tell them, we need a basketball court. Yeah. On our property there is a basketball court. Nice. But I just want each and every one of you, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I want you to know that if you need to reach out for me for anything, you might not be sure, you're trying to make a contact somewhere, like Tegan said, I like to fly under the radar, because it's not about the fanfare. It's about just getting people to the next level, because somebody got me to my next level, and I'm good for it. I'm very comfortable in my skin and where I am right now. So the one person we gotta get. I don't know if you all had Pidy on, but we gotta get Pidy on.
No, we had her on.
You were talking about you passing all about she essential.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you that until your time come up. So I'm gonna leave that out for this live.
Yeah. But yeah, and anything that I can do to just get young people to the next level, I am willing to do it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I love Genix. This was it was a pleasure for me to sit and talk about a man that I in my eyes become a great legend. He's a legend in his rights, and I believe that we will do what is right concerning him.
Awesome.
So thank you.
You did an excellent job tonight. I'm so proud of you. You are beautiful as always. And don't give up the gubernatorial run. I know you ain't planning to run no time soon, but if you're ready, I think you'll be a good one.
Listen, man. Right now, we got to get these young men off the street and get them into something that's going to change the trajectory of their lives forever. So anything you come up with, just count me in.
Sounds good. Mona, thank you very much. Thank you so much. You represented Genix well. You know, shout out to Sunil, shout out to Paidi. Those are the last two, previous guests. Shout out to them. And Mona, we're gonna have to have you on to tell your story. And you heard it from Genix mouth as well, that when it's time, he'll come out with you. So you have a couple more times to touch base with the Elite Podcast.
Yeah, because I could tell them about a true point guard. Oh.
Better than that one above you?
Yeah, that one who likes to shoot.
Our styles were a little different because I had a Stephanie where it was about let me see.
I was pretty good though.
It was just a matter of we know we were gonna win anyway, but I didn't have to work as hard as probably Tegan did.
No, it's the same as me. We had Pang. I could shoot as much shot as I want, and Pang will bail me out. I could even go over 27 if I want.
Before we leave, you was gonna say something, Pang?
No, go ahead.
We have Rima Laka coming on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Rima Laka. Next guest, Sunday, 4 p.m.
We could try and get we should try and get Mountain on to with Lockhart, because Mountain used to play for Lockhart up here in the States. So we could get some stories from Mountain on that.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, link Mountain up.
Pang and Mumba. So like Pang didn't come out earlier. So once again, I'd like to say to Pang, who was my best man 10 years ago, it's my 10-year anniversary. I definitely would like to wish my lovely wife 10 years. So proud she stick with me because I'm a knucklehead. I talk too damn much. I won't be on Sunday. We're taking this weekend off for ourselves. So I hope you guys excuse us so we can celebrate. And we pray God definitely bless us healthily with our lovely daughter and our family. Keep us safe. But I'd like to wish her a happy 10-year anniversary. Mona, you didn't know, but Pang was actually my best man, so I gotta say it again.
Yeah.
It was actually 10 years ago. Talking a lot of crap at the wedding. I can't believe 10 years passed, but it's just amazing. And I won't be here on Sunday. You guys excuse me, and we love you guys. I'll be back next week Wednesday.
Yeah. And God bless each and every one of you. God bless you. And I just pray that God, face shine upon you and be gracious unto you for what you're doing. Lift this countenance upon you and give you peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Tegan, we're going to pull up a banner for your 10-year anniversary. The Elite Podcast.
Go that far, but
we supporting that. We thank your wife for us to have you. So we're gonna
my food cold. It ain't the microwave.
Yeah, so we gonna show some love. We gotta show some love for the brother. So definitely. Yeah, man.
So give thanks for everybody that hung out with us tonight. Thank you for all your comments, always showing us love, and we appreciate Ayo. There is no us if Ayo don't join the show. So there's no us without Ayo. So give thanks to everybody for logging in, and even if it was just for 5 minutes, thank you for giving me that 5 minutes and sharing your likes, your comments, your hearts, your laughters, everything. And Mumba, take us home.
Genix, we love you. Can't wait to hear from you again. Everyone, blessed night. Mona, thank you.
God bless you. All right.
Good night, Pastor Mona.
Good
Pastor
night.
Barnes, sorry.
All are good.